Wow, already hearing voices today. Okay, you guys. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. God bless you and peace be with you. Wherever you guys are at in the world, my name is Astraea Love. Welcome to my platform. I'm going to be doing a reading for you guys today. So I hope everybody's had a good day. Please know, you guys, that my readings are timeless, which means it could be 10, 20, 30 years in the future from this moment now that you're watching this video, and there's still going to be messages in here that are for you, that resonate. So my hope is that with these readings, you guys learn to use your discernment and learn more about your spiritual self. Not only that, these readings are to prosper you, they are to benefit you. So that's why I'm here, to share my gifts and abilities with you guys, the messages that I get, the things that I pick up on, and that is what I'm here for. So if you guys could do me a favor, if you like this content, please show me a like, show me some love back. I show up for you guys almost every single day. I'm very consistent, even though my life is not consistently great. Okay. So video, would greatly appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. Thank you guys for your donations, for your support, and for your love of me in this platform. For those of you that do love me in this platform, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I am going to be doing the contract now while I make sure that my cards are in the upright. So by watching my readings, you are agreeing to the contract of being in control of yourself, responsible for yourself, and with any of the information being channeled. That means if I talk about, and again, these readings are for you to learn to use your discernment here in a safe space, okay, where like no bad consequence is going to happen. And then in your real day-to-day life, using your discernment by learning here how to do that and us talking about it, you know, in your daily life, then you use your discernment and you avoid tragedy. That's what I want for you guys. I want the best for everyone. So, if I talk about anything in the realms of legal and you feel like that resonates, please follow up with a lawyer. Let's get the likes up, you guys. We got 22 people watching and 1 like on the video. I need the likes to, and thank you everybody that likes, that subscribes, that taps the notification bell, that asks questions, that donates, and that leaves a comment. All of that helps the algorithm and it helps the YouTube team know that this content is worth being seen. So thank you guys. I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So yeah, if you guys could do me a favor and like that video, hype the video, all that stuff really helps. So if I talk about anything in the realms of health and you feel like that resonates, please follow up with the doctor. Let me just check my energy really quick. I need to do an energy scan on myself. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Welcome everybody that's new. I hope you guys are having a good day. All right. So yeah, no bullying me, anybody in the comments or anybody in the chat. That is part of the contract. So just be aware that to be kind to others, okay? Treat others as you would have them treat you. If you wouldn't want people bullying you, telling you that whatever, okay? So anyways, sorry, my hair is still drying and it's kind of annoying. So if I keep moving it, I apologize for that. All right, so, oh, thank you. I love this background too. This is an amazing tapestry. Temu has like really stepped up when it comes to tapestries. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about 2 books that are tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. If you stay till the ending of the reading, I will go into depth about these books. I didn't have the time to do it yesterday, so I was guiding people to look at the video that was the one right before yesterday, but I should have time to do it tonight. So, okay, so the first book is called The Truth of God. It is an advanced intuitive living workbook, and it is written by Michael STEADMAN, who's a doctor of divinity. Now, I've been using the techniques from The Truth of God for 10 years with success, and they're very life-changing. In fact, when I was closing my eyes, I was using the techniques from The Truth of God right there, because I had already picked up that I was coming into the reading with a thought or belief about somebody making a comment about my weight and stuff like that. And if I do discuss my weight, those are very personal things to me. It's very extremely offensive, the fat shaming and the body shaming and the ridiculous behavior from people. But, if I decide that I want to talk about why my weight is what it is, then I will do that. But I don't feel like I have to explain. This is not a health channel, not a physical nutrition channel. There's nothing wrong with my eating habits. I'm on a medication, and that's what's going on with me. And trust me, you guys would rather have me be on this medication, because if I was not on this medication, which the medication doesn't even actually fix the issue, I would be probably extremely unhappy and very, very upset, because people continually disregard my feelings and treat me like a piece of human garbage for whatever reason that they feel the need to do that. So again, okay, everybody has life struggles. I have never, not once in my life, made fun of somebody for being overweight or whatever. Not that I can remember, okay? So I'm going to read the back of the book, To the Truth of God, and then at the ending of the reading, I will talk about the techniques that I was just using to get past that blockage, that issue, okay? So the truth of God is an evolutionary encounter with that which we know as God, gaining new perspective into who we are and from where we came. First, the journey to God takes you to the realm where it all began, making many discoveries along the way. Next, the story of God explains what has seemed to be indescribable, creation, and the path that led to what we perceive to be reality. Last, in the spiritual workbook, Michael gives us information and techniques that will allow us to free ourselves from those ideas and emotions that are hindering our spiritual progress, and methods to open up the channel between the conscious mind that we are aware of and the inner consciousness that many are becoming aware of. So that book has changed my life. I probably would not be alive had I not come across this book. I wish I would have come across it as a child. It would have made living with these abilities much easier, but I am just thankful that I came across it at all, right? The second book I'm going to talk about is the book that I have written. And I wrote this book because I didn't have anybody but like God, Vassago, the Holy Spirit, Jesus to teach me how to read cards. So, I mean, I don't need the cards. I never started with cards, but I like them because they have pictures on them. And if you stay to the ending of the reading, I will explain how tarot works and everything about it, okay? So I'm going to read the back of the book. The book is called Vassago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. I wrote this book to help teach you guys how to read tarot cards for those of you that are interested. It's written by me, Astraea Love. And I wrote this book off of, I have also tagged in the products and linked in the description box below, the Quick and Easy Original Rider-Waite Tarot. If you learn the interpretations from these cards, you can go to any specialty deck, and when they give you an abstract picture that has nothing to do with what the card means, you'll have the original. In fact, when I do pull from cards from another deck, I will quite oftenly go and reference what the actual meaning of the card is. So I always have it around handy. It's a very good deck to have. It is the original. All other tarots are like, I don't know how to say it. If I guess they're interpretations off of this, but to me, they are perversions, right? It's taking something and then some people will extract only the good things out of it and they try to make it something that it's not. So that's my opinion. So I'm going to read the back of my book. If you are interested in this, stay to the ending of the reading and I'll talk about it. So this book was inspired by the Ars Goetia spirit known as Vassago. He has assisted me in designing the different tarot card spreads in this book so that they cater to your personal experience. I, for one, know how difficult it can be to read cards for yourself due to our personal attachment to the outcome. This book will assist you in getting past that blockage and obtaining the spiritual truth that will set you on your divine life purpose, aka spiritual path. This book of never before created major arcana spreads references the standard Rider-Waite tarot deck for all explanations and includes spells and rituals for each of the 22 cards. So there's 22 major arcana cards in the deck. The major arcana cards are your guys' favorites, like the Lovers, the High Priestess, the Hierophant, the Sun, the Moon, the World, the Star. All of those are the major arcana cards. Different card combination descriptions are gifted from my years of practical knowledge and are included in the additional notes section. So I'll actually use the book at the ending of the reading. All right, you guys. I hope you guys are having a good day. God bless you and peace be with you. So let's see what comes through. So I did get a message that I feel like a whole group of people are becoming aware that you are not involved in some type of trickery, deception, or like, well, these people were trying to defame your character. So whatever they were saying that you were involved in, you're not involved in. And now it's been proven, because I feel like these people were trying to say that you're at a certain place at a certain time with a certain person. Okay, so this could have to do with love, competition, somebody thinking, oh, that person stole my man, they stole my husband, they stole my wife, they stole this. No, you didn't. Okay, no, you didn't. They could also be saying, oh, that person is doing spells on me. No, you're not. Like, this is what I was getting. I was just like, okay, so somebody is just, wanting, like, they want to have an altercation with you for some reason, and this is what they're thinking in their mind now. But if they were to actually have an altercation with you, they would get smacked out by the universe. So that's not actually what they want. What they want is other people to view you in a certain light. And people are now seeing the truth about you. And I feel like the truth about you is good. You're a good person. There's nothing that I can see to target you on for anything, right? And I don't really put targets on people, but these people really tried it. Like they used every tool to their disposal, even monitoring you, okay? Like whether this is through the internet, through your job, whatever. They've used all of the tools that they had at their disposal, and now they've literally run out. And so everybody around them is like, well, what? We've literally, okay, like, for example, they're saying, yes, they're guilty accusers. They're saying like, oh, you're of the devil, you're of this, you're of that. But then how come all of their witchcraft, how come all of them using the Bible in the incorrect way? How come all of their scriptures, how come the gods of their religions are telling them to shut the hell up and to listen to what you have to say? Like that's what's happening, is that you could have multiple deities, and I consider these deities not to be the one source creator, right? They're gods of religion. Anytime you give God a name, you're talking about a being, not a creative force, right? So to me, and there are certain deities and beings that do protect certain types of people, but then there are these types of people like you that I'm going to just use the frame untouchables. There are untouchables, right? People who are not to be touched, people that have already been claimed, whether it's by the fairy world, by the angels, by the archangels, even by demons or fallen angels. These people are claimed by groups of spirits, okay? Groups of spiritual beings, groups of cryptids, groups of extraterrestrials, and alien type intelligences. And so you guys are untouchable. It doesn't matter what pantheon somebody goes into to try to use something against you. You're already protected there. This is why I'm saying untouchable, okay? So they keep trying to reach out and touch you, but they can't. There's protection that's been placed there. And you could be feeling this. You could feel somebody tugging on your energy and you're like, what is that? Right? You could be picking up on that and being like, stop. Like whoever's doing that, stop. When you speak things into creation, you need to know how powerful that is. Now, in the olden days, like it's giving saint energy. There would have been some story about you that people would have listened to, right? Because you guys carry a very distinct archetype energy that this planet greatly needs at this time for peace, prosperity, and all of that. And who couldn't use a little bit more peace in their life? So I'm just giving the cards a good shuffle before we pull any of them. But I get that these people that are after your blood so much that, you know, it's giving blood of Jesus energy. It's giving wanting to eat and drink the blood like a cannibal. It's giving that type of energy from these people. So yeah, after your blood. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's not necessary. None of this is necessary. In fact, it's so meaningless that it's like, why do I have to speak on it? Just so that you guys know what's going on is why. But other than that, it's basically meaningless. These people are powerless, and they've used everything in their arsenal to try to derail you off your purpose, to break you down, to make you think that you are nothing. And at the end of the day, you're still standing. So that goes to show that these people are not SHIT, they're nothing. Okay. And not only that, they're being told by their deities, their spirits, their ancestors, and the ones they bow down to and worship as if they're God, they're being told to leave you alone, and for one, to listen to what you have to say, because you speak the truth and they do not. So these people are feeling like, why is this person who's not even a part of our religion being favored by the deity or the energy that is supposed to be the protector of this religion? It's because God, the deities and gods and spirits and all that, I don't think all of it's demonic like every other person does. Most people think it's all demonic. I personally have not had demonic experiences like that. But again, I guess my perspective is different. I'm not going to just like condemn any type of mythology or folklore. I love mythology anyways, and folklore. To me, it's extremely interesting. But I'm not going to condemn any of that stuff to be, oh, it's the devil, because I do not hold that belief. I don't hold that viewpoint. I don't perceive it to be that way. Okay, so modern religion has tried to demonize everything, even their own stuff they demonize. So it is what it is. I'm not going to argue with anybody that's in religious psychosis or anything like that. But I will tell you this, that these people have gone to some type of, you know, demiurge, like Yaldabaoth, however you say its name. Again, they should have just given it a shorter name. Anyways, they're going to some type of being that is, I want to say that it thinks that it's the God of Abraham, but it is not. Okay. I don't know how to explain that, but it's not. It just thinks that it is the ruler of everything in the physical dimensions. Let's just say that. Okay. This being, we want to call it Yaldabaoth or whatever we want to call it, is telling these people to stop. So that's the big thing, is that there is nothing that I can pick up on that you need to be afraid of spiritually. It's more humans in the world. At least at this point, it's more the humans of this world that are acting very demonic, if they're even people at all. So, and I'm not judging anybody. I'm literally like not a judgmental person, you know. I'm really not. I'm very accepting of people and their cultures, as long as they don't try to use or abuse me or whatever. I'm okay with them existing where they're at. So let's cut the deck and see. Could be a lack of education. Absolutely. I mean, that would not surprise me. I also feel like somebody is wanting to compete with you. They think that they're better than you. They think that they're better looking. They're trying to like literally show this deity, demiurge being, whatever, as higher dimensional being is what I call them. They're trying to prove to this you have somebody that's literally out of this group of people trying to prove to this higher dimensional being that they are more, they are better, they are more like the ideal child, okay, of this deity than you. And this deity is like, no, like telling this person, no, stop. You don't know what you're talking about. So with that being said, let's see what the tarot has to say. Because as soon as I started to do the reading, before I had cleared the energy of what I was feeling. I was starting to hear voices, and I know anytime I start to hear voices, that's not a good thing. That's like a telepathic, and people don't understand having some types of experiences, especially when it's coming from a person. It's not really even coming, it's coming from their spirit, the spirit that they have, that they are, right? These telepathic weird messages, like that's very disturbing to my spirit, to be like, when I'm putting out positive, to be bombarded with negative BS all of the time. And it happens, mostly on the internet, but it happens sometimes in regular life as well, randomly. And so I just have to like go within it and do what I can do about it. But none of these experiences that I go through, that you go through, are easy experiences to deal with. I think people go, "Oh, well, you should be able to handle it. You're a psychic." Well, why should I explain to me how I should be able to handle a psychic attack coming from groups of people, gang stalking, abuse? How am I supposed to handle all of that? Just because I have an ability means that I can handle being abused and tortured and tormented by people? Make it make some sense. So anyways, it just makes me so disappointed with people, like that they are on whatever time they're on, and all they want to do is break other people down. Like, where is the compassion? I am really hoping that God does something to shock these people, and not demiurge God. I'm talking about real, actual, divine God, okay? God that is timeless, that doesn't have a body, it doesn't have a name, that is beyond what we can think and perceive, beyond demiurge, okay, right? So it's like, and demiurge is, it's all Gnosticism, but there is truth to it. I mean, like, just like how the demonology people say that there's truth to those spirits, there is truth to the Gnosticism. I mean, think of it this way: Gnosticism means inner knowing, right? It's like inner knowledge. Can someone explain to me why throughout the entire planet, the Gnosticisms, the Gnostics that did not have language, had language barriers, couldn't communicate with one another, why is the Gnosticism always the same thing? It's always the same exact story of stuff going down. It's the same. No matter what culture you go to, the Gnosticism, even though these cultures did not like each other, did not communicate with each other, it is the same knowledge. And that is because it's coming from an inner gnosis, from the inner human subconscious or consciousness. So, yeah. Yeah, being psychic actually makes the attacks worse. Exactly. Because once you're aware of it, then it's hard to not be aware of it. And so, yeah, it's just really sad. Really sad. 5 of Cups. So this person that's being told that they're not in the same boat as you, they're not the same as you. And it's by this Yaldabaoth type energy, okay? Whatever they are praying to, they're bound inside a Archon system. The knowledge that you're getting comes outside of the Archon system. So these people, every prayer that they say, everything that they do, it is still Archon energy. It's all bound into the same system. You're reaching beyond what they call the pleroma, okay? And Yaldabaoth emerges from the pleroma. You're reaching beyond that. So that's why the knowledge that you gain is higher vibrational. And it's not something that traps people and traps their minds and traps their spirits, Which crystal is best for grounding and protection? I would say it just depends on what your personal experience is. When we had the metaphysical store, people would come in and they would not know what crystal to get. And so we would read their chakras, and then we would help guide them towards the correct crystal. So it just depends on what you're going through. For general protection, I'm going to probably say Arfvedsonite, Arfvedsonite. It's this big crystal right here. It's got like blue shiny streaks going through it. This is the best thing to protect from vampires, vampirism, energy drainers. If you are an empath, tourmalated quartz. Okay, if you pick up energies from other people that are not positive, tourmalated quartz is the best crystal to block out that. I mean, I could go into talking about the different properties of the crystals for probably 30 to 20, 30 or more minutes. I mean, but getting back to this, yeah, it just depends what type of attack that you are struggling from. So there's not one crystal that I would say is the best for protection. Depends what type of protection you need. Our Vetsanite covers psychic vampire attacks. I'm pretty sure that this is Shungite. Shungite covers EMF rays and stuff like that. If you're getting psychically attacked, Rainbow Obsidian is the best for that. Hematite, this one right here, it's a shiny one. It reflects negativity back to the sender. Gold hematite is the best to fight against the evil eye. And then, you know, I'm going to say that black jade is really good to have around because it helps you feel safe. Phosphosiderite, this purple one right here, is the best to protect you from destiny swap. And then bumblebee jasper will help you recover your self-worth and self-esteem. So this Five of Cups energy talks about somebody crying over spilt milk because it's something that's already happened. It's shoulda, coulda, woulda type energy, you know. Black tourmaline. Let's see, do I have that one on? I don't have that one on. I've got a lot of the crystals just right here that are in bracelet form. I think this one is black tourmaline. Black tourmaline's really good. It blocks out EMF rays, but it's not as powerful as some of the others. If you're dealing with nightmares, howlite, this white one, howlite is the best. If you're dealing with needing to focus on unconditional love, rose quartz will be the best. For those of you that are wanting to ascend your energy, this bead right here is called moldavite. It's the most powerful crystal that exists. And when we had the metaphysical store, we made this bracelet, which is called the Ultimate Protection Bracelet. So it has one bead of every single crystal that protects, that has the best type of protection for you. And so larvacite, this one right here, this gray one, is the best to protect against infection, flu, and CVID. Okay. When all that was going down, we were selling the crap out of this larvacite because when I had this bracelet on, many times I would have experiences where something would like try to latch on to me and then it would like leave. It would not be able to get into my aura, but I'd still be able to feel it. So yeah. So there's a lot of beads on this bracelet, but this is probably my favorite bracelet. I have to keep the moldavite over there because it is so powerful. Moldavite is from another planet, so it's higher than the vibration of the earth. So when you work with moldavite, moldavite will flush your system of negative vibrations. So people talk a lot of crap about it because they don't understand how it works. And they don't understand that when you have crystals, you have to have selenite. Okay, selenite comes in many different forms and shapes and sizes. But if you don't have selenite, that crystal is just going to absorb the negative energy and it will never be cleared. With the Ultimate Protection bracelets, we added a bead of selenite, which is that white one right there, right? So that it would keep the bracelet clear all of the time. So anyways, yeah, but with any crystal, it's going to absorb negative vibrations. Usually they take the hit for you so that you don't absorb that negative energy. And so they have to be cleared with selenite. Now, another thing about crystals, if you don't know, that having a crystal is one, these are minerals, okay? People that think everything is so woo-woo, but there is a literal science behind it. With everything except for the clear quartz crystal, which we program this bead so that it does the job to be the ultimate protection bracelet, right? The clear quartz can be programmed, okay, with an intention. So this is the only crystal that can be doing something for you while you're not at home. All of the other ones have to be within arm's length to be doing anything for you. So yeah, this person is also really, they're in a self-destructive pattern right now, and they want to know how to get out of it. And they keep going back to this being that just keeps telling them that they're not as good as you. Like, that's really sad, because I don't compare people like that, but this being does. Oh, thank you so much for the heart. This being definitely does. So it's like, whoa, King of Pentacles. Yeah, literally, these people could think that money makes them better. The only thing that money does is buy you the things that you want and need. Other than that, it's to me, it's a type of metal. It's a piece of paper. You know, literally, that's what, the reason that Jesus was not filthy rich, okay, was because Jesus didn't care about money. He cared about people. That's why. So this King of Pentacles energy, this person is judging you because they see that you don't have as much as they do, etc. Okay. And they think that they're better for that. You're also dealing with somebody that thinks that they're just going to hold money over your head, make you do something that would scar you or go against your morals. And you're actually being protected by this demiurge being. Okay. Because they favor you. And again, favor isn't fair. People are going to say that, but I will tell you how to become favored. When you become important to God by doing the work of God, by being your authentic self, by loving yourself, by being kind, by doing the right thing when it comes to do the right thing, you put yourself in a position to where God is using you as a vessel, as a pawn on a bigger, much bigger chessboard, and that you don't see at the time, right? And so God's moving you around, helping you. Oh, thank you, Marina. Yes, you did. And I made a note of it, and I remember. Okay, but I don't remember what the question was. Could you re-ask the question? Sorry, I didn't write down what the question was. I just wrote down Marina question next reading. And I saw that note and I was like, oh yeah, okay. But thank you for sending that. So yeah, this demiurge being is like looking at this person and going, yeah, you're not it. I know you've got the money, you've got this talk that's as smooth as butter. This person could have mother issues. Talk that's as smooth as butter, but all of that is just flashy stuff. These people are not really dedicated to serving this being, this higher dimensional being. They're not really dedicated to that. They're more dedicated to, tearing other people down and using the name of this being to get clout. That's what they're doing. So that's one reason why this being's like, nah, you don't really serve me. If anything was happening to me, would you be there? 5 of Pentacles. Okay, awesome. Give me 1 second to read your question. So I'm going to be answering Marina's question. You feel very ungrounded and weird right now. Okay, family, old classmate in your dreams twice. That's interesting. Seeing fairies around you. I do get there. I saw a fairy earlier today. It was literally right before I came on video. I saw one and I was like, oh, hey. So yeah, so that's something that, okay. So thank you for saying that, because I was wondering why the fairy was showing up for me. Now that I know that it's about you, I can look at it that way. Being shown more about Egypt. I think that that's probably a good thing. People of past, etc. What should you be focusing on right now? What a good question. Oh my gosh. So much in there, but we'll decode it all. Okay. So feeling ungrounded. Now let's look at that, Marina. Why are you feeling ungrounded? It could be because, okay, so when we're children, the reason that children are more psychic than adults, or they see things more than adults, is because they're like basically develop when they come in, their upper chakras are more open. Then they are working on the lower chakras, which is like feeling secure, feeling safe, and all of that. And so what I'm seeing is happening is that you have your upper chakras that are opening right now, and your lower chakras are out. They're out of balance for some reason. So we're going to look at that. To me, it feels like, let me just get rid of this person that's being a crazy person. To me, it is feeling like the things that you're seeing, you're feeling, first of all, are outside of you. And secondly, I get that the stuff that you're picking up on, that you're seeing it as something that's like separate or other. And okay, so when I've had these experiences, having the truth of God is really important, because I can go back to that oneness and remind myself of who I am. And not only that, I am looking out through these eyes, I'm looking out through every blade of grass, and I'm looking out through everything. So for you being ungrounded in the bottom chakras and the top chakras to be opening, to me, that feels like some type of spiritual attack. Now, the fairies that you're seeing they're not negative. I mean, they're literally, I don't think that fairies are negative or positive. I guess there are some that could be mean, but you would have to do something wrong. I'm not getting anything about that you've done anything wrong. I'm literally getting that you're just starting to see them because your upper chakras are opening, and they've always been there. So you could have been seeing them as orbs before, maybe like fuzzy energies. You didn't know what they were. And now that your vision is becoming more crystal clear, you're seeing them as they actually are. And it could be a little bit spooky and terrifying at first, but once you know that they've always been around you, that they're not there to hurt you, then you can kind of relax. Because I feel like when you see something that's other, when I was a child and I saw the extraterrestrial things and had my abduction experience, they don't match any type of geometry that's of this world. So it was absolutely terrifying to me. And the scariest thing that I've ever seen, right? There's no one's ever been able to replicate something that's as scary like the actual things look, right? So what I'm getting, so we're going to use a Thoth deck. What I'm getting is that that you seeing and you having experiences. Okay, so the next part we're going to talk about is that, okay, so there is an energy that has been affecting you, okay? And I'm getting that this energy is affecting your bottom chakras. Let's see, where did the question go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, your bottom chakras. And then also I'm seeing that there's something to do with the classmate that you had a dream about. So what was the dream about? There's definitely an energy that's been at play since you've known this classmate. I don't know if you have contact with this person, but it feels like, well, to me, what it feels like is that this person wanted to swap destinies with you, but not in a traditional witchcraft way, in a little kid way of somebody really liking you and wanting to be just like you. So that's one thing I'm picking up. But yeah, I don't know what the context of the dream was, but I do get that you having two dreams about the same person, especially if that's like in, just to let you guys know, if you have a question that you need answered, send me a $20 super chat with your question. I'm answering Marina's question. So you barely knew him. Okay. One was about his family and they knew something about you. And then you were in a relationship with him in one dream, but you barely knew him. Okay. Yeah. I still get that energy though. This person, I don't even feel like you have connections with this person now, but they're definitely from another lifetime. So what did that person represent to you when you were younger? If you could think back, because I think that that's where the message is coming through, is what does this person represent to you? And then what did their family represent to you? You know what I'm getting is that in another experience, another timeline, he was a human and you were a fairy. You were like a fairy, but I'm not getting one with wings. It's giving Thumbelina energy. I'm not getting a fairy with wings. I'm getting a different type of fairy. So if there are fairies that don't have wings, I don't know what those are called, but I'm getting that he and his family were living on fairyland that was your land. Okay, so you lived underneath inside the land. They were living on top of it, and there was the thing that they knew about you was that you were a fairy, but there was an ongoing, I don't want to say full out war, but there was an ongoing dispute between you wanting like claim over the land that you were living in and then these people living on top of it. That's what I'm really getting. Pixie is one that, okay, so yeah, pixie energy. Yeah. So this is what I'm getting, is that what it represents is an ongoing feud over land, but it was more than just land to you because it was your home, right? Like it was your home, and then to that person it was their home. And it feels like this person is coming up in your dreams and you're seeing the fairies around you so that you can know, first of all, you're still a part of that world, that fairy world. You're still a part of that. You've got that in your blood. And in this lifetime, I think this person was very attracted to you when you were younger. They were definitely attracted to you because there still is an energy that just needs to be resolved, which I think is about bringing peace into the situation. Can two beings, this is the question that we're asking, can two beings that are living in different vibrations of the same world, can they coexist together? I think that they can. Now, what I'm seeing that this family was doing is they were using tools, because they knew about fairies, to keep you off of the land, like off of the upper part of it that they were living on, to keep you out of that area. And that's was causing a major dispute. Wow. These people would probably never even think, because they were using a combination of like religion and like iron and other things like that to keep your energy out. And it was causing a negative adverse reaction to you as the being that you were, the fairy being that you were. Pleasure. So this is going to bring a lot of happiness, not only to the fairy realm for this issue to be resolved, but for you as well. It's going to bring a lot of pleasure. And we're resolving it just by saying, yes, we can coexist together. Now, fairies do have a reputation to be sometimes mischievous, but I'm getting that it's more of a land dispute. That's what was going on in the dream state. So now that you know that part, you seeing the fairies shouldn't make you afraid, because from their perspective, when they knew you, they're like spirit guides. When they knew you, you were one of them, right? So knowing that you've had that experience and that this person was drawn in this lifetime, not really to dispute with you, but just so that that energy could be resolved. Queen of Cups. Yeah, because you are a sweetheart, a total sweetheart. This is what we do know to be true about you. The pleasure and the Queen of Cups, that's you being a perfect, like, you would be a very good wife, very good mother, very good spouse, very good person to be with. What is this that just fell out? The Knight of Discs in the Tower. So this other person that was in the dream, and I don't want to take up the whole time on that, but they were thinking that you were sending like bad spells on them. And what was happening is that the land that they were living on was tied to the fairy realm. There was other humans in that lifetime that were telling these people to build their house elsewhere, but they chose to do what they chose to do. Now, there was other fairies, like the ones you're seeing around you, that were sending evil eye type energy to these people, but all they had to do was literally move their home. Like, take their home down, apologize, leave an offering, and move. That would have resolved the issue. But we're just going to resolve it today because we can, now that we know about it. Okay, so let me look at the other part of your question. So the part of you being ungrounded, I feel like that was coming from the dream, because that's exactly what the energy that these people were sending you to keep you out. It was ungrounding you. Think of that. Like if you're living inside the earth, that's inside the most grounded place. And these people were trying to uproot you and make you leave. They were dead ass wrong for that in that lifetime, and trying to make you feel like that in this lifetime. I don't really get that, but I do get that. Yeah, they were all about that in this other lifetime. And also being shown more about Egypt, I think, is a good thing. And if it's Egyptian pharaohs, if it's Egyptian mummies, that's something that we can look into. Because you definitely have a connection to Anubis and Osiris, which are Egyptian deities of the dead. And so, yeah, you seeing deceased people. Now, I do have the ability to do that, if you want to call it an ability. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like interacting with the things that I see that are scary. But with you knowing that you have this ability, I think what's happening is like the veil's being pulled back so you can see more than you were able to see before. And I think the whole part of why that's happening is for your highest and best good, but it's also to retrain your eyes, refocus them. So like your eyesight could be getting better, it could be changing just a little bit, but it feels like sharpening energy. And so the Egyptian connection, Egyptian people, since we're going to talk about death, the Egyptian people, they lived their entire life preparing for death. You saw a djed. What's that? Oh, okay. And when then a yellow energy pyramid opened, wow, and you stepped through and 2 French doors were pushed open for you. Okay. Interesting. So you feel like you may lose your land due to a family dispute right now. That is so weird. Oh my gosh. Confirmation. That is so weird. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Princess of Cups. This is showing me that you've got some very divine connections here. Over a family dispute. That doesn't even seem right. Okay, so now that we know what was going on in that other experience, I feel like you have a claim to this land, and it's going to be more than just whatever these people are thinking is trying to get you cut out of a will or get you taken off this land. These people are like, they don't understand that they're not just entering into a battle with you, they're entering into a battle with the entire fairy kingdom, your spirit guides, all of that. They're not taking, and these can even be your family members that feel entitled to something. Why do they, there used to be a term that was used in grade school. I don't know if people use it anymore because I think it's very racist and offensive, but they would say Indian giver, right? And it implies when somebody gives something to you and then takes it away. But I don't think that Native Americans are like that, to be quite honest. I think that's inappropriate, but it's in the middle of the Ankh, the Djed, and when in the middle. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what I'm getting is that you had another lifetime where you were this type of angel. It had a lot of eyeballs. So it's like an angel body, but with a lot of eyeballs all over the wings. You going through those French doors, I feel like you were part of this extraterrestrial group that cleansed. I want to say that they purged and cleansed. Like it's giving the movie Legion. If you haven't seen Legion, watch Legion. think that's what it's called. Yeah. It's giving the movie Legion, where the angels come down and then they purge the earth and cleanse it of all of the like evil people. Yes, it is called Legion. It's a 2010 film. If you haven't watched that, I would say watch that because you're definitely one of these angels. Absolutely. So angels, fairies, interesting. This evil eye, whoever this Knight of Discs is, so having it come through the dream state is actually a blessing because it gives you the opportunity to work through the energy before it happens and plays out in real life. Princess of Discs. I think you using your discernment is key. I'm not getting any like warning sign that you should have your land taken from you. Like I'm really feeling like this is some type of argument or dispute that could be going on literally between family members. But yeah, why are they doing this all of a sudden? Do you know? I did have a dream about that. Yeah, that's how I'm able to see what these beings are like. I mean, well, it wasn't exactly like Legion, but I get that your experience was more like what I experienced, but it's the same premise as Legion, like angels coming down to cleanse the earth. Yeah. Interesting. But the pyramid opening up, okay, from my understanding, a lot of the pyramids were used for like ascension. And so I get that that's actually a good thing. The opening up of the pyramid to me represents the opening up of feminine energy, which holds your gifts and abilities. It holds your discernment, basically. So I don't know who the family members are that want to dispute you over this land. Why are they all of a sudden behaving like this? It feels like interference. They're trying to interfere with your journey. For what reason, though? Yeah, you don't deserve that. You literally, you don't deserve that. That's not cool. I would use your greatest discernment when interacting with these family members, whoever they are. Which just means don't be telling them what I would literally start building a case against them. Because for them, I know that there's laws. Even if you're living on, somebody says, oh, I own the property that you live on, there still is laws. Failure. It doesn't look like it's going to go through to me. I would definitely pray about it. You want to be, because it's family, you want to in the best way possible, like as much as possible. I know sometimes people make it impossible to even communicate with them and work with them on something, but I'm asking like the divine, why would a family member not want you to have a home? What is going on there? Where's this envy and jealousy coming from? And this family member, if they end up being allowed to do this, stuff's going to go really bad for them. Okay. Like, wow, really, cards? I'm glad that I caught those and they didn't go on the ground. Yeah. Adjustment. Using your discernment's going to create an adjustment. It always does. Empress and Queen of Swords. So yeah, you're being shown as the divine being. This could very well be why, because were they attacking you before you started connecting with God and accessing your higher self? Were they wanting to take your land from you before then? It feels like since you've gone through a major activation that now that's what they want to do. And it's over jealousy. And then we have the Queen of Wands or the Queen of Swords here, which is you cutting somebody's ego off and just saying, absolutely not. Sometimes you have to cut people off because they are toxic, right? You're a single mom and doing rent to own from family. You speak the truth. Okay, so that's something that they don't like. It could be taken from you. And so you've been worried about it. Okay. I think that there needs to be a communication between you and family. And I would say it literally like, it's like so not okay. Think of, I would be like, think of when y'all were raising me and when I was a child. Would you have liked somebody to come pull your guys' home, our home away? Think about it. I would literally be like, would you have liked that to be done to you? That's not really fair. And to me, what I'm seeing is that it looks like you're going to inherit this land when these people pass away anyways. So why are they doing this? They don't need the property. They don't need access to your home. They don't need access to your land. It feels like it's also coming from another lifetime. Maybe we can clear it up with the fairy thing, but also understand that there is a legal system that goes to this. They can't just say, get out now, you have to leave right now. If your clothes and all your stuff is there, like all your kids' stuff is there, they have to give you time to find another place and all of that. And that's if they just decide to go through with this. I feel like if they decide to go through with trying to do this to you, they will be punished by the universe. And that's something they're not taking into consideration. But I do feel like God is going to make sure you are taken care of no matter what. This issue is calling you to look towards that situation with the fairies, and that other person. That's why it came up in the dream state, so that the dispute over land, and if your I'm wondering if this is parentals, right? Because it doesn't feel like there's unconditional love there. For me, if I had a child, I would give it everything. I would give it everything that it needs, So it feels like there's another influence. Knight of Swords. Feels like there's another influence. Somebody else saying, oh, no, we need that property. We need that land. Like, no, they don't. It's really strange to me when people act like they're broke and they're not. Like they have more than enough. If you rent from them, make sure you're just paying your rent and all of that. Fortune, look at this. Yeah, you're going to be fine. Whoever is doing this, though, pray for them. Pray that they find God and that compassion comes into their heart. I get a couple more cards for you. Power, because you're the one that has the power in the situation more than they do. I also am getting that if this is something like, oh, wanting to take your home from you so that they can sell the land, anybody that buys that land, it's going to have a curse on it, because this is not something you should be doing to your child, right? It's going to bring ultimate ruin and strife to these people. And that's not something I would ever wish for anybody, but these people are insisting on doing it to themselves. So working on, why do people feel jealous and envious of you? Why do people feel that need to give you something, then take it away? That's it's backhanded is what it is. And then knowing that, you serve a higher purpose, you serve something that's greater, and you're also a protector. Your family is not even taking into consideration everything that you offer it. And so, yeah, they could be upset about greed or whatever, but you're going to be okay. If they attempt to even take you to court and get you thrown out and all of that, if I were you, I would apply for Section 8. You probably qualify. Section 8 is like when you've got a kid and you can't afford your rent, and your situation that you apply for it and they find you a place. So, you could, if your family's still disputing over the land, you could be like, look, I applied for Section 8 benefits and we'll see what comes back with that. That way you have some type of recourse, because again, even if like if you have a written document with these people saying that you rent from them, they have to follow a protocol, you know. Love comes with conditions. Yeah. And maybe a condition is you being asleep. I don't think that that's a real condition. I'm worried if you distance or anything big, it could be taken. And you've tried to make too much to get it because you have a career. Absolutely. Yeah. So I would definitely, you know, not, I would literally, whoever's behind this, pray for them, ask God to come into their heart, and then tell, if you do have to pay rent on it, then pay rent on it. You just have to make a decision of what you want, I think, because literally literally, if you want to have a new place to live, depends on what your finances are, but you could apply for Section 8 because you've got a child. They may help you. But I'm getting that if your family, it's going to bring a lot of bad luck on them if they do that. So they might as well just let you keep it. I'm getting the vibes that you're left in some type of document, this property is going to be left to you or something like that. Somebody is trying to interfere with your inheritance. Yeah, I would be praying Psalm 91 against that. But you're going to be fine. Continue to be close to God, go within, and we'll look at it again in a couple weeks after, because you're going to be working on clearing and releasing the energy with the fairies. I mean, it's not so much with the fairies, but it's with that situation of fighting over land, of who gets to have it over a dispute, right? And yeah, if their love is conditional, then, you know, asking yourself, is it the healthiest thing to have these people in my life? If they decide to take the land from you, I would never speak to them again. Like literally, because that's just greedy BS. But yeah. Yeah, you have just some things to think about. And then if you don't want to apply for Section 8, you know, seeing how much it would be to get a apartment or condo or whatever. But I feel like you're going to be fine either way, whichever one you choose. And if you decide to stay in the same place, what are the restrictions? I mean, what are these people wanting from you? I think that's the thing you need to figure out is, what do they want from you? If it is just about selling the land and getting the money, then that's about greed. But what is it that, if it's about you not living up to a standard that they think you should, and so now they're going to do this to you, and this is what they're wanting to do with revenge, finding out what their motivation is going to be really good, so that you can ask God to, you know, resolve that, and then you be a peaceful person and do the best that you can. You make too much for assistance, and you love this land, the trees, the animals, and everything is very healing. Yeah. It's giving that exact vibration that the fairy was feeling. And I just saw a fairy out of the corner of my eye, literally right now. Like, so yeah, this is a very deep issue. So I would be getting the truth of God, using the mind technique on it, clear the thoughts and beliefs that you have, and hope for the best. I feel hopeful. I feel like if we check on it and maybe another couple of weeks, things will have shifted. That's what I'm feeling. But yeah, asking these family members, what is it like for you to stay there and live in peace? Like, what is it that they need from you? And if they say that this is not about you, then it's about greed. Like straight up, it's about greed. Because again, I'm not getting that your family needs money. So I don't know why they would be wanting to take the land from you. That's what I'm getting. They don't have money issues, you know, and I don't get that you have money issues in the sense that you're struggling, but your family doesn't have money issues. So I don't get why they're doing this all of a sudden. So it's a manipulation tactic to try to get you to do something or not do something, right? And that's BS. So yeah. So that's my advice, but I would continue to work on it, you know, and praying for your family members that they come to their senses before they make a really bad decision. Really bad decision. I don't think from my opinion, I don't think anybody else is supposed to live on that land but you. There's something very unique and healing about it, and it should go to you. Seems like it's written down that it should go to you. So You're welcome. So just to let you guys know, I've been seeing a lot of questions. If you have any personal questions, send me a $20 super chat with your question, and I will pause the collective reading and I will answer your question. Okay, so I am going to pull a couple more cards for this situation that we have here for the collective. And I already get that there's a hopeful outcome. Let's cut the deck and see what we have. Before I answered Marina's question, we were talking about the energy of these people and how the demiurge being, this being that wants to play God, let's just say that. From its perspective, it thinks that it's the creator, but it just doesn't understand that it has a higher self. Everything has a higher self. It doesn't understand that. I mean, I'm kind of communicating with it now, but it to this being, it's like saying that it has a higher self. Until this being experiences it, they're like in the energy of like, well, that could be possible, but I haven't experienced it. So yeah, everything has a higher self. When it comes to this other person though, and this group of people, it feels to me, I literally just saw another fairy running across the carpet. It feels to me like somebody is wanting to be favored like you are by this specific being that doesn't favor them because they're not authentic. 9 of Wands. And this person could be saying, oh, I'm so wounded, I'm so wounded, I'm so broken, blah, 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 blah. You know, they want to play victim mode, even though you haven't victimized anybody. And they were trying to get everybody to believe something about you that's not even true. So that's kind of on them karmically. Yeah, these people are tired. They're tired of having setbacks. And they're expecting this being to grant them wishes. And but these people's wishes don't have to do with their life getting better. It has to do with your life getting worse. This is why this being is like, shut up, like, stop being disrespectful. That's what Judgment, King of Swords. These people are trying to use this being that's pretending to be God, this higher dimensional being, to judge you and punish you. I mean, for what reason? People need to get it together, dude. Get it together. I'm also getting that like a judge, somebody that was judging somebody, could be wounded now, all of a sudden. Oh, the irony. Living with circumstances that they don't like. This could be a literal physical judge, somebody that works in like the justice or some type of system. Now they're feeling like they're damaged, but they were judging you before. Ridiculous. The world. And you have the world opening up to you, which could be something that you do on the internet. This could also be, I mean, let me just ask a question. Is this judge person going to seek to find the answer to why they're being judged, or are they just going to continue to judge other people and make bad mistakes? I mean, that's what we're asking here. Because if this person is just going to continue to make bad mistakes, then they can be demonically tormented. I really don't care. Like, if they're going to continue to misjudge and not have any discernment and treat everybody like trash, then oh well for their circumstance. And that's not me being cold-hearted. That's just like, look, I'm not going to get in the way of somebody's karma. If somebody treats somebody else like garbage, treats them really badly, very poorly, mishandles them. This is why you have to be very careful with how you treat people and what you do to others. You have to be very careful with that. Because when the universe claps back, the universe claps back. And there's no person sitting there manipulating that. No, this goes beyond. This person is literally being tortured right now because they made a bad judgment, or they're about to make a bad judgment and they're being tormented. Okay, well, maybe this stupid person, I'm sorry, but they're not very intelligent, that doesn't use their discernment. They need to go through all of the stacks of papers that they have in in whatever this thing is that I'm seeing that holds papers. I don't know what it's called. But this judge has this thing with all of the papers of every judgment or case or whatever. This person needs to, I mean, how dumb are people? If this person's all of a sudden made a misjudgment on something, then they lose their sanity, their health, their protection, whatever this is. They get put in a bad position. Why wouldn't they go back and look and see, okay, this happened about 3 months ago, started about 3 months ago. Who was I talking to around that time? Who did I judge? Let me just look back. Like, this is how I know these people don't have any discernment. If they had discernment, they would just look back at the paperwork or look at whatever they decided to make a bad decision on, and then they would figure out why the person that they made a bad decision on, they would, if they had discernment, they would figure that out. Okay, that's why what's happening to them. And it's giving, like, somebody could have asked for assistance. It could have been food stamps, it could be any type of assistance, and this person said no. Okay, and you could have been in a position to where you didn't at that time have the world accessible and you needed help. This person that said no is in trouble for saying no. Okay. Now they're being put in the exact position that you were in, and that's like psychologically and mentally, and this person's being demonically tortured. Like, that's what I'm literally getting, though, is that they're being tormented in the spirit because they made a bad decision, and that decision hurt somebody else, and this person doesn't care. They think that they are the all-knowing, all-seeing, all-encompassing being because somebody's boosted this dumbass's ego. And this is sad that you have people like this in charge of anything. Ace of Swords. And they're experiencing the brunt end of God protecting you. And God protecting the world. And you being a part of that. Wow. I'm pretty sure judges can take paperwork that they've already done and look at it again and then decide to change their mind on something. They can do that. This person's so prideful. They're so arrogant. They're so cocky. They think that they know everything. And they think that they are the one all be all answer to this. And they don't know anything about the circumstance and situation that you were in when they were judging you. And this is why this person's being put in that circumstance, so that then they can be fighting the same things you had to fight and understand your situation. Wow. So what's really happening is what needs to happen. It's absolutely necessary for this person to be demonically tortured and tormented and all of that, and to lose a bunch of stuff, because that's what you had to go through. And then they didn't offer any help. So again, like, this person's not favored. They're not protected. And it's okay for people to make mistakes. What's not okay is when they don't ever correct them. It's okay for them to say that I made a mistake, but when they don't correct the mistake, you know, it pisses off everything in the spiritual realm. All right, let's get a couple more cards, then I'll talk about the books and we'll go. But yeah, it's really ticking off the spiritual realm bad. And this person, you know, when they made this decision, they were under the influence of some type of demonic energy. Point blank, period. This is about something trying to sabotage you, some type of other energy. I feel like this person makes continual bad decisions. They don't approve anybody for anything. So they're a piece of shit and they should be removed. They should be completely fired from their job. Them losing their sanity, their hope, and the last part of their life to bad luck and stuff like that. That's literally what they're doing themselves by not giving the resources to the people that need them, being a greedy, good for nothing bastard, okay, of a person. So now they're going to have an experience of what it's like to be you. And if it ever gets revisited, if this person doesn't, I mean, they've ruined their life. That's really sad. Four of Swords. the end of fighting. This person doesn't change their ways and change this stupid decision that they made or that they're about to make, things are going to go really bad for them. And I clear all negative energy that I picked up from anyone else or anywhere else or anything else. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this person is going to, funeral card. I mean, literally, God protecting you has to remove this person. If they have to be removed from life, I hope they get the message sooner than that as to why everything is going bad and they don't feel good and all that. It's because of what they did to somebody else. 7 of Swords. Only one answer is the correct answer, and it's to fix the mistake that they made. If they're running away from making a decision, if they decide to choose the wrong thing, again, they're going to be stuck permanently with this demonic torture that they can't get rid of. Okay, I'm serious. They can pray as much as they want to this demiurge being, but the demiurge being created the demonic entities. So that these people praying within the Archon system that they're bound to, you know, I don't care if it's Freemasonry or religion, it's not going to get them it's not going to do anything. It'll do more harm than any good. Knight of Wands. Okay, so whose else's energy is a part of this? We have a Knight of Wands here. And El Diablos. So God, like, no. How about no more of this? How about no more of this crap? Let's get the devil out of here. Yeah, you having to defend yourself so that you have the ability to have a home and be in your destiny and use your abilities. That's some type of court case that has to do with competition because these people are trying to compete. There is no competition. There's just point blank, period, enough resources to give them to the people that need them. What is wrong with this world? Greedy, disgusting, selfish, manipulative, demonic ass behavior. I don't like it. Okay, Tropical Tarot. So yeah, we clear ourselves of that negative energy. Absolutely not. Whoever this judge is, they made a bad choice. Yes, guilty of invasion of privacy and guilty of being manipulative, like I was saying, greedy bastard. Okay. Anything that I see, I love that. Let's take a look-see. I want to use this deck. So this is actually another version of the Rider-Waite tarot deck. This deck is just a little bit different. It's still got the same cards. Not as bright of colors, but I still like it. Okay, so let's see, Tropical Tarot, what's going on for you? Oh, thank you. You're amazing as well. I was just thinking that I really need to have this other deck right here. Okay. All right, so we're actually going to use the Twin Flame Tarot first. So let's see. I was like, actually, it's telling me to get this other deck. I really like this deck because the smaller cards are so much easier to shuffle. Okay. So we clear ourselves of any when I had the metaphysical store, there was a candle that I created for it, and I'm used to make these candles. I had a whole wall of candles that I made that had different purposes, right? But there was this candle that, and it for everything that could go on spiritually, basically, I made a candle for that. Put the magic in the candle. So you burn the candle, it resolved the issue. Then I would have the person come back in and we would check their energy again. Anyways, there was a candle that I had that was called it was called Red Black Devil candle, and it was half red. Well, the inside candle was red, the outside part of the candle was black. So you're burning a candle that's dipped in another candle, basically. And what that would do is it would remove the demonic presence, whatever it was. So in my mind, I was thinking, what candle would this be? And I get this red, black candle. So anyways, red, black devil candle. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the energy. Give me just 1 second, and then we're going to read it. And I think that that's starting off at a better space without this other energy being present. Okay, that's better. Now, I've talked to you about Bumblebee Jasper, but I actually have the bracelet here this time. I'm wearing it today. So Bumblebee Jasper helps with self-worth. That's the crystal that I'm getting that would really, really help you right now. Okay. Self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem. So let's see, what do we have here? The Fool, a new beginning. This is beautiful. The Fool is not always a negative card. Like, it has so many different meanings about it, because it does talk about somebody going on a brand new journey, starting anew, freedom, possibility, adventure, but it also talks about somebody that's like unaware. So I'm not getting the unaware energy. I'm getting more of a new beginning, like a new start, a fresh start. It's also the number 0. So it's right before enlightenment and intuition. 2 of Cups, soulmates and unity, close bond, spiritual connection. Wow. Okay. Now that I'm looking at that. So we have the Fool and a soulmate love connection. Okay. So new beginning, love connection. So this is definitely like a new beginning with the person that you already have. So what is this about, this energy of not being aware of something? Is it about not being aware? No. Is it about freedom? Yes. Okay, so yeah, maybe there's a choice that you need to make that's going to affect how free you feel. High Priestess, with using the knowledge that you have. Okay, so the person that you're with will never be this High Priestess that you already are. And I probably don't have to tell you that for you to know that. But there is a little bit of envy or jealousy coming from them. Maybe this is also where the greed is coming from. Yeah, it's coming from a place of like wanting to be on the same level as you. Interesting. You're trying to start over. She got rid of the ex. Okay, good. Yeah, this definitely talks about a new beginning, starting over, but also is warning you not to be, well, to use your intuition and to use your abilities, to not go into things being completely, I don't want to say unaware is not the right word. Maybe it's about being honest with yourself as well. 8 of Wands, fast movement, quick decision. So yeah, you did just make a quick decision. But as long as you always use your discernment and use this ability and know what I was just telling you about how she'll never be, and I'm not trying to speak this into creation, but she'll never be a High Priestess. Okay? She's showing up as a Queen of Wands. Even though the Queen of Wands hasn't even come out yet, I know she's going to show up as that. But she's never going to be this High Priestess that you are. For whatever reason, it's just not meant to be for her. Queen of Swords. So yeah, I get that, her cutting off the ex, if that's what she's doing to move very quickly, I feel like that could be a very, very good thing for the relationship. If she actually does it. Let's see if she's going to actually do it. Spirit, is she going to actually do it? The Queen of Swords kind of shows me that she is. It's going to cause some type of emotional storm within her life because she feels like this, you know, this Warlock X. Yeah, this is all witchcraft. This Warlock X of hers has done something to try to bind her. Queen of Wands. What I say, I knew she was going to show up as the Queen of Wands. He's done something to try to bind her. My goodness. To him, it's like a love binding. I'm literally seeing a red cord being wrapped over something. Okay. Divine realm, can we get that cleared? Whatever that is. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah, because I feel like if she can really free herself from this X, things are going to start to go better for her. And she won't have as many interruptions in her day-to-day life when it comes to energy. So I like that. Emperor, you're showing up as divine masculine energy. You always do come in and save the day, like literally. And she wants the Emperor. Of course she does. Okay, what is going to happen though with the X and the witchcraft? Is he ever going to stop doing the witchcraft is more what I'm interested in. Is he on her specifically? I don't care what he does in his regular life, but he keeps trying to do spells on her to get her to come back to him. And I'm trying to put this card next to the other one, where she was showing up as the Queen of Swords cutting someone off. And there was like weird friction going on underneath the card. There's nothing under the card. So I'm like, what the hell is that? There's some type of weird friction. Yeah, it's some type of binding ritual. 9 of Swords that is going to cause problems here. So what can be done? Let me just ask, what can be done? Okay, let me just see if I can do something and we'll see if the thing changes. Give me 1 second. Okay. So that person, her ex, for some reason, for me, was a past life enemy. All right. So I feel like things are going to work out better if they do not communicate. So now that I cleared that energy, I want to see what comes out. But yeah, I like the 2 of Cups card for you, the soulmate bond and all of that. I like that commitment. Oh, I'm hearing this person's thoughts, this ex of hers is like, I don't want it to end. No, it's already over. It's been ended. That person needs to be banished. Divine realm, let's banish this person. They're using witchcraft anyways. 2 of Pentacles, balancing resources, flexibility, adaptation. Yeah, I do feel like things are going to balance themselves out. I hope that she does not go back to the ex or even communicate with this person. 3 of Cups, celebrations, friendships, reunions. So that looks like success right there. Also with the balancing of resources. Maybe she was giving money to this ex. I just don't trust them. Yeah. So yeah, they're a past life enemy to me. The universe works in mysterious ways. 2 of Wands, planning and waiting, making a decision, choosing a path. I feel like integrating positive habits into the relationship is a good thing. I also feel like the majority of the bad stuff that was happening in the relationship had to do with this other person, the ex, but you know, there still is holes in the relationship that need to be filled as far as you not feeling enough, okay? Whatever she said to make you feel like you're not enough, that's what needs to be healed. And I guarantee that once we heal the rejection, not enough wound, which we're calling forward any thoughts and beliefs, anything that has to do with that subject, and we're releasing that and healing that now. Anything and everything that's there into the presence of God. And then boom, it just doesn't exist because it's not a part of God. I mean, it's God's energy, but it's when you bring that peace and love and joy into it, it changes. Okay, so let's see what else. I like the Two of Pentacles. I like the Three of Cups. I like the Two of Wands. We have earth, water, and fire. The sun, happiness and joy, innocence, success, and optimism. What we were just working on was inner child work. I feel like why I was telling you about the bumblebee jasper was because of the solar plexus chakra. And now the sun comes out, which means that we are working through that. And again, once we get rid of a way of thinking, if it's not enough about ourselves or whatever, don't, like the other psychic told me, don't go back to the trash can and pick something you threw away out. Like once you get rid of the thoughts and beliefs and emotions, don't go back to it, because actually start anew. That's what I feel like you guys starting anew, which means any record of past wrongs that you're keeping, get rid of that, right? And you're hoping that she does the same thing too, but you can't control what she does. So you do it for you and then see how the external world shifts. But yeah, releasing any type of list of past wrongs or list, you know, when you like think of somebody and you hold into a cord every single thing that they've ever done that's negative towards you, get rid of that. That's in the truth of God, that's using the mind technique so that you're manually like going like, okay, I'm not coming into agreement with these thoughts and beliefs. The technique will help you clear it, but just knowing that, yeah, there has to be a change in thoughts and beliefs. And same thing with her as well. Like you're willing to put in half the effort. I do feel like even if, you know, even if, you have to drag her kicking her legs, she will put in half the other work, right? She will do it eventually. I feel like if she was, first of all, if she was not trying to do witchcraft on you, she would have never had this situation in her life. So the previous people she's done witchcraft on, I pray that she repents for that and changes her ways. But yeah, it doesn't work on you. Nine of Cups, wishes fulfilled. I feel like without this disgusting other person, you guys would have wish fulfillment and things would start to move in the direction that you're wanting them to go. Okay, what do I think about your health and job? Let's look at that. So there was a reason that I needed the other deck. I see, said the blind man. Okay, let's look. So health, let me look at your chakras. Okay, so the third chakra, which is the solar plexus, the yellow chakra. Where's my chakra chart? It's on the ground over here. This chakra right here, that's right there, that is called the solar plexus. That's the only chakra that I'm getting is out. So I'm going to balance your chakras. And then to the best of your ability, because nobody's perfect, try not to think thoughts about you not being enough, okay? So let's go ahead and balance that chakra. Okay. All right, that's better. And we're going to boost it up as well. All right, let's see. So yeah, as far as your health, I am not getting anything really that's coming forward as that. You could be experiencing minor aches and pains. I'm not getting anything that's like I mean, I'm not a doctor, so if you're feeling any type of symptoms, go to the doctor, because it's always better like to just, go to the doctor and get everything checked out if you are having a certain experience, right? Everything is spiritual, but also there's physical things we need to do. So like going to the doctor would just be being responsible, getting everything checked. That way you have peace of mind so that you can go, okay, well, I know that I don't have this because I just went, right? I think that's the whole thing of like getting a colonoscopy and all of that stuff, is that, or mammogram, whatever the tests are, you only do like once a life, or you do twice or something. It's like, so that it gives you peace of mind. I also get that, well, your job is fulfilling your financial needs, but it's not, there's something else that you're also supposed to be doing. Ace of Pentacles. Look, you are provided for. God's always going to make sure you have a way. I feel like, to be quite honest, that you would be, I know you're doing a different type of career, but doing something spiritual, or like reading cards, or giving advice to people, or doing TED Talks, that's something that I've always kind of picked up in your energy to be, that's part of your destiny. But what you're doing right now is paying the bills, right? So this, either way, God's going to have your back when it comes to finances. I would look in different ways that you can invest them. You're in so much pain, okay, and there's nothing that they can do for you. Your veins are bad. You had 5 surgeries and the pain doesn't stop. Dang. Wow. Okay, let's see about that. Well, so your surgeries messed up your veins? Do you exercise at all? I'm getting that, like, one thing that would help would be stretching. I'm getting specifically like stretching. Drinking more water would help. Stretching, doing yoga, doing breathing exercises. I'm also seeing some type of like, and that's kind of what yoga is. It's like, uh, it's not, it's not like running. It's not like lifting weights exactly. It's like yoga is like stretching, but it's also working out at the same time. I'm getting that yoga would love, would you would love yoga. You fired one of your employees because he was drunk at work. Now your team hates you. You know what? You had to do that though. Because you had to do that. If your team hates you, get a new team. But yeah, I'm literally getting that, well, there's some people on your team that would be harder to replace, but surgeries didn't mess them up. Oh, you have a chronic condition. Okay, thank you for telling me that. Okay. Well, I'm not picking up the D word, DEATH. I'm not getting anything like that. So even though you're living in a very not good condition with being in pain all the time, is there anything that you can do for the pain? Like, do you take Tylenols or anything that you can take? Have you considered, and I'm not a doctor, but CBD, okay, is miraculous. It literally is. It's miraculous. So it creates homeostasis in the body. It creates balance. They want you to go to a pain clinic. So from what I understand, you're afraid. From what I understand, if you've got a chronic condition that's going to be for the rest of your life and you're dealing with pain, There are ways to create homeostasis. I would look into CBD pain relief type thing, but then also if you have to decide if you want to get on medication. If you go to the pain clinic, they may prescribe you a narcotic or something like that. And then there's different things that are problematic with that because they create addiction, first of all, in the system. Once you start taking it more than like 2 weeks, if you're on it, then you become addicted to it, and the withdrawals off that are like the worst. And so there's some things that you need to think about. If there's something else that they can do for pain that I don't know about, maybe going to a clinic would be helpful. You know what? Interestingly enough, I have all these freaking what are they called? I went to the cannabis doctor and they gave me all these different things that have these different treatments on it. Brochures, that's what they're called. Brochures that have these treatments on it that range from like getting vitamin shots to getting, I don't know what ketamine treatments are. I haven't read all of them, but I would look into alternative pain relief, and then also think about long term with your condition. Well, first of all, yoga would help. Okay. I do feel like that drinking water would help, but then looking into, looking into how you feel about getting on a medicine that might have adverse side effects or be addictive, right? And then seeing if there's anything else that they can do. Those would be the things I would look into. I would also work on meditation and getting control over the mind. I would work on that. And then I would work on lightly. I'm also getting lymphatic massage. It may help you to get some type of physical therapy or massage that might actually assist. So those are some things to think in consideration when it comes to health. So other than that chronic thing that now I'm seeing, I'm not picking up on anything else that's going on health-wise, but I do feel like that you shouldn't be sitting around in pain all the time, but also you have to understand that taking those pain meds, they can become addictive. They can make you nauseated and sick, and they can also destroy like your liver and stuff. I'm saying can because I am not a doctor, right? So I would look into the pluses and the minuses, the positive and the negatives on that when it comes to that, because for you it may, like, I can't answer that. I would literally go to the clinic and ask them if there's any alternative treatments. I would look into alternative health treatments. And it's ironic that you're asking this. I will look through the brochures that I have and see if there's anything for next time that I think would be a good treatment. But yeah, sitting around being in pain, a lot of the times if we're sitting around, we're focusing on the fact that we're in pain. We just continue to be in pain. And yes, I did see your question. I'm gonna finish with Tropical Tarot and then I'll answer your question, Fortune Cattle. So give me just 1 second. So yeah, working on healing. Steve Nobel, Stevenobel, he has a lot of like short guided meditations that have to do with healing. There was a point in my life where I had a condition called TMJ, and it was like a jaw condition. And I was going and getting these like injections and all the time into my jaw, and it was really horrible. Long story short, I started to meditate and work on the chakras, and I started to basically I ended up getting a Reiki session done. I ended up becoming a Holy Fire Reiki master, but I completely healed and reversed that condition. And so energy healing is a very good tool to have to apply to living a healthy life, right? Which is doing everything that you can do to take care of your body. Also, if you know other people with the condition, maybe doing like a Google search on how people deal with pain with this type of thing, and what are things that you can do if walking, if running, if there's something that's going to be helpful, with that condition to do or to not do, I would definitely look at that. Also, you could look at your diet and see, what if you keep a food diary and you start to log what you eat, you can literally see if something is causing inflammation in your system or not. I have cousins, they're cousins, I believe, that both have a gluten allergy, right? And so keeping a food diary is really important. That way you can know what foods are going to be good for you and what foods are not going to be good for you. And then maybe doing a research on foods that have natural painkillers in them. What are the foods that have natural pain relief in them?
Many foods contain natural compounds that act as painkillers and reduce inflammation. By including these foods in your diet, you can naturally manage joint, muscle, or even chronic pain. For medical advice or a diagnosis, consult a professional.
Show me the actual ones. Fatty fish, salmon, tuna, sardines. I would have never guessed that, but maybe because of the fish oil. Ginger, turmeric. They actually have at the store ginger turmeric capsules. You could literally take that daily. Berries, I was envisioning blueberries. Blueberries is the first thing that came up. I was envisioning berries. Very tart cherries. So blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, those are packed with antioxidant. Also, you could do smoothies. What is that stuff called? I'm seeing some type of, it's like algae. Extra virgin olive oil. If you cook with oil, it's saying extra virgin olive oil would be good. Chili peppers and dark chocolate. Yes, absolutely. Anytime they're going to recommend chocolate as a remedy, I'm going to say yes to that. So chili peppers, it causes the brain to release endorphins and natural chemicals that can block pain signals. And dark chocolate, interesting, rich in magnesium and stress reducing compounds. It can help trigger endorphin release to soothe pain. So those are, let's see, are there any natural supplements? Are there any natural supplements that you can take to get rid of pain?
Yes, some natural supplements can help manage pain, but it's important to talk to a healthcare provider first. Since these supplements aren't regulated like medications, you need to check for potential side effects or interactions. For medical advice or a diagnosis, consult a professional.
Yeah, it's like go to the doctor is what it keeps saying. So you might want to ask your doctor, are there any supplements that will help with this condition? Because your doctor will know. So yeah. Let me get 2 more cards for you, and then I'm going to help the other person. Look, 10 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles to the 10 of Cups. This is like a happily ever after. I would spend less time worrying and just know also your team at work is going to adjust. When you hire another person, it'll bring in a new dynamic, and the people that are there will be less sore about it. Why did that relapse happen? You can't believe you ended up with a gun to your head. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Celebration and joy, the completion of projects. So I've got to answer this other person's question before I come back to you. So give me 1 second. But I'm literally pulling all good cards for you. Okay, Fortunate Cattle or Fortune Cattle, can you let me know that you're still here? And then progress with JMB's relationship. You're welcome. Okay, you're still here. So yeah, um, just hang out a little bit, Tropical Tarot. I'll answer your other question. I need to answer Fortune Cattle's question really quick. Okay, you're still here. So you're wanting to know is it the outcome of the relationship? Seems like it's a lot smoother. Well, that's good. That's a very good thing. Okay, I'm going back to the person's name. Okay, progress with JB. Okay, so I would say that this relationship to me feels like it's equally yoked, but so you and them have very complementing energies. Like it's a lot smoother than the other relationships that you've been in, is what I want to say. It's progressing, yeah. So I think the next step would probably be like, you know, you guys coupling together is what I'm thinking. Does this person live far away from you? Is there a reason that you guys don't spend more time together? And or what's the relationship with this person? Because I get that there's a lot of love here, but there may be specific things that are just causing it to not go as fast as you want. I feel like please don't be offended by this, but I feel like you're not a very patient person when it comes to when you want something. You want it and you want it now, and when you feel like you have to wait, it kind of bothers you. And I'm getting that this wait, you learning how to be patient is a lesson that you're going through, but it's also going to benefit you because, sometimes things are worth the wait. And when things start to naturally progress, he is off to work is MN, like Minnesota, and he wants you to come visit. Oh my gosh, I think you should go. I mean, his energy for you is very, very good. I don't pick up on any like bad intentions. So yeah, I think you should go if you can go. So yeah, so he is off to work, but where's his home place at? Like, does he have a home that's near you? I think that that's probably the core thing about their relationship. If he goes off to work in other places, if he can afford to come and send for you, basically. Oh my gosh, it's giving me like the olden days when they would send, like, I'll send for you. They would always say that. It's giving me that energy. Let's see what the cards have to say, but I'm getting a good vibration from this person. 9 of Cups, wish fulfilled, pleasure. Okay, yes. I say yes to that. When you love somebody, it doesn't matter how far you have to go to be with them. You used to live together and his home is close. Okay, good. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I was going to say, at the very beginning that the next step would be moving in together, but you guys used to live together. He spends a lot of his time not at home, though. That's kind of the one thing with the relationship is traveling, and then he is going to continue to move up in it in some type of way. Like he's going to continue to be rewarded. 8 of Swords, because it possibly is making you feel kind of trapped because, wow, I don't know why it just did that. But this is what I'm getting is that, well, first of all, this person is faithful to you. So I feel like they can be trusted. I also feel like going to visit them is going to re-spark a new passion. The 8 of Swords is the way that you've been feeling. But this wish fulfillment is going to change the way that you've been feeling. And I look at the 8 of Swords, and you could have just felt like see that little storm cloud with the rain? You could have just felt like it was just like so hard without him. Depending on, so do you work? So he finally got rid of the gal that cast spells on us. Yay! Oh my goodness. Amazing. Okay, let me look. Let me just check. Okay, now that you say that, when I look at the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Swords has to do with imprisonment. So somebody was trying to lock away your wish fulfillment, but your wish fulfillment is coming out as much a stronger energy. So I feel like your wish fulfillment is going to come through. He's finally gotten away from this person. I feel like he has a disgust towards them now. That's what I'm feeling. Wow. Very strong feeling. And that's what happens when black magic backfires. The devil. Because this other person was the freaking devil. Holy crap. So basically, it was the devil trying to imprison your wish fulfillment. Well, now that we know that, let's clear that energy. And then whatever was within you that drew in this situation, we want to definitely heal and release that. If it was karma, we heal and release it. If it was I get this, like a past life energy really with this person. Okay, so let's just get rid of the background energy. Okay, that's better. Now without that karma that was like basically causing the situation, the Two of Swords, stalemate and stuck, denial, difficult choices, crossroads. Well, yeah, you are at a crossroads. All right, let me see what the bigger picture is of this. Why this? Because this does not happen to everybody. I promise you. It really doesn't. Yeah, I get that it was karma. Okay, well, we don't need to look into any. So all of the karma is cleared up to date with this other third-party person, correct? Yes. Hierophant. I feel like you're in the process of becoming a hierophant. It looks to me like there could be two different roads presented to you, and you're still going to become this hierophant. So that was the purpose as why this devil was here. So now that you know that, the devil doesn't even need to be present. Because I don't get that you have any of these properties that the devil has, which is like greed, lust, all this like weird shit. You don't have any of that. That's not even your energy. So when it comes to, the devil's influence over this situation in your life has brought you to where you can make one of two choices. I feel like the part of your wish fulfillment includes this person, and their energy does match your energy. Like it's like this person would be willing to work with you. Relationship wise, they can be trusted. Eight of Pentacles. I think the one thing with their relationship is that this person's work takes them away. Like that's probably the one thing that is kind of, I want to say, annoying in the relationship. She was horrible, was stalking you and everything. Oh my gosh. And he had to pray to get rid of her. Well, it seems like it worked, literally. Yeah. I saw a meme and it said, don't go back to the things that God already rescued you from. So I think the one thing with the relationship has to do with his work. But if he's willing to fly you out to wherever he's working, I feel like that's a good thing. He's not doing that with other people. The Fool. Yeah, you're not going to be taken for a fool. And I feel like the love was not even real with that other person, so he definitely has feelings for you. I hope that he just makes better decisions. I don't even know what was going on with him that drew in that person, but that person was so freaking toxic that he almost lost something very valuable. Knight of Wands. Just know with him being in this energy, this ambitious energy, the Knight of Wands is not a bad card. It is somebody that's very sexual. It could have been one of these things of the devil, like lust that ensnared him with that person. Absolutely. I mean, witchcraft is manipulation. So he was easily manipulated. I think that he needs to learn about his spiritual self so that he can make sure that none of that ever goes down again. But praying, if he started to pray, that's moving in the right direction. I feel like, you know, eventually he's going to get to a space where he doesn't feel, I want to say, doesn't feel like he needs to search for a person. That's what I'm literally getting. So he's transitioning. I mean, in a positive way. There can be transitions that happen in every direction, but he's transitioning in a positive way. The 10 of Wands, burden and stress, anxiety and defeat, burnout. He's experiencing burnout. Also, this year, the year of the it's the year of the fire horse. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the flowers. The year of the fire horse, the last time it was the year of the fire horse was 1966, and it was a year of like burnout and all this political fighting and wars and all this rebellion and stuff. So now that we're in that energy again, he's experiencing burnout for sure. All right, let's see. 10 of Pentacles. Family legacy. He's creating a family legacy. I feel like he's burdened by the work he does. That's part of it. But it would be nice for him to have someone to come home to. But then you just need to make it sure that if you want to be in this relationship, that you're okay with being left alone for large amounts of time. And then working on the relationship. I feel like he does want to be with you. But he is a little burdened with the work that he does. He has a higher commitment to something. But I also feel like this experience could bring you guys together. Yeah, she definitely destroyed a lot with him. Really, really burdened him. I mean, just completely. But he's really lucky that he has you. He's very, very lucky that he has you. I'm serious. Emperor, because look, he's going from being the Knight of Wands to the Emperor. So that to me right there shows me a natural progression that he actually is this Emperor. His highest future version of himself is the Emperor. That's what you want. So this is showing me that he may be burdened. He may have had to go through this situation where he was being tempted. A lot of temptation is what I get, like with this other person. Their witchcraft was based on lust and sex and temptation and stuff, things that snare people. And you know, now that he's been through that, I hope that he recognizes the red flags and realizes what a gem he has within you. Because I get that, you know, this is a major learning, it's a major lesson for him. It's going to, whatever he's going through that's transitioning is going to bring him from the Knight of Wands energy to an Emperor, which is what you want. So all of this is happening for a reason. 10 of Cups, for your greatest happiness. But I also feel like giving this person another chance, they had better not mess up with you. I'm serious. They better have learned their lesson. I mean, but then we can't really hold it against this person because he was under the influence of witchcraft. And I will always have compassion for people that are under are in that state of their journey. You're much farther along with your spiritual progression, I want to say, than this other person. That's probably the biggest difference between you and them. But other than that, your guys' energies match, and it looks like you guys would have a beautiful life and family together. He's just got to not want and desire, I don't know if it's younger women or whatever, but it's like giving the vibe of a man that's just still stuck in their ego a little bit. That's what the Knight of Wands is: immature, impulsive, hot temper, rebellious, charming. Being in that energy is a major burden, and it's not going to get him a 10 of Pentacles, which is a family legacy, which is basically having kids and all of that. It's not going to get him what he wants, and he doesn't want to waste any more time after this other person. So I hope that he makes the right decisions. It looks like he's going to. It looks like everything's going to turn out fine with the happiness, family harmony, and emotional stability. Yeah, 3 of Wands. Looking forward. I feel like the one good thing about having a relationship, yeah, as long as it's final, I don't feel like he ever will mess with this person again. Okay. And it doesn't matter how much witchcraft this person attempts to do, it's been blocked now. It's like something's happened. God's gotten involved. Literally. Oh yeah, he prayed. That's what happened. So God's gotten involved. Now this person who was sending it is completely blocked. And he, because it was all witchcraft and manipulation, he's like repulsed by this other person. So I don't feel like that's gonna be, a part of anything. Knight of Swords, assertive, impatient, direct, daring, ambitious, motivated. He could be in the energy of being like, nah, I need to protect myself and protect my energy after going through that with that person. Because they were like a master manipulator and a witch. The Knight of Swords also represents somebody like with a positive influence. Like they could be very disciplined, But yeah, I get that it is final. All right, let's pull one more card and see. Temperance. Shiva is so dead sexy, man. He is hot. Anyways, Shiva is very hot. Peace and tranquility, balance and patience, harmony. Sorry, Parvati, to his wife, but he is very attractive. Okay, so that could be something. When people know that they're attractive and they think they can get away with anything, I get that he's coming out of that cycle. Peace and tranquility, balance and patience and harmony. Yeah. So, using moderation, I feel like you guys will ease back into a relationship. And I also feel like that he probably should be living with you. His life would be happier. Okay. I know he can afford the expenses to live by himself. Does this person have children? How did he end it with her? I'm getting that he blocked her. That's what I'm feeling. He used temperance. Temperance is like Shiva, but it's also Archangel Michael energy. He asked for protection. But I'm sure if you asked him, maybe he would tell you, you guys should be open to talking and being completely honest with each other if you want to move forward in the relationship. There's no secrets and, forgive him. Ace of Pentacles. I get the relationship's only going to work if you forgive him. If you hold the Ace of Pentacles is new opportunities, money being provided for. If you hold his past against him, it's, that's like going to manifest his past self. And he's going through a natural transition into the Emperor where that's unnecessary. Queen of Cups. Just like how Tropical Tarot's question, I don't know if you were listening then, but how they were trying to start over brand new. That's what I'm getting is that like you guys have to start over brand new and not hold a record of past wrongs against the other person. Because it looks like you're already the Empress. So when you're dealing with a relationship with somebody that is not, you're the Empress, you're already in your highest evolution. Not to say you still won't evolve, because you will. You'll grow and evolve and become even better. But showing up in the tarot, you're showing up as the Empress and the Queen of Cups. You were a Queen of Cups. This is what got you walked on. Put up boundaries with this person. Make new boundaries, right? Empress, because you're already in the elevated state. He's working from a Knight of Wands to a 10 of Pentacles, which is family and legacy, and into the Emperor. So he has a couple more steps to get to where you're at, right? So showing grace and mercy, especially when it comes to spirituality, because he just doesn't know, like, I think he's afraid of it, to be quite honest. From what he just went through, he's probably afraid of spirituality or anything that is energy wise. He's probably scared. Justice. But it's for you to have justice. So I hope he makes a good decision. I feel like it is justice. It's definitely justice for this other person to get consequences and have to deal with karma. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't think of this person was taking you from them. I would get rid of all beliefs that have to do with that subject so that you don't pull in the same situation. But yeah, I do see that justice will be served. So knowing what I just said, that you are more mature, more enlightened, okay, and you're already in the state of being the empress. He's still working to becoming an emperor, so be patient. And remember what I was saying about patience. Patience is like, it's a very hard thing to learn. For me, I am not a patient person. When I want something, I just want it now. I don't want to have to wait, but I learned to become patient because I feel like if it's God's timing, it's going to be the right time. If it's my timing of I want it right now, I could not be ready for it right this second. Right. So I would rather have it happen on God's time and everything work out than it happen on my time. But also, if he invited you, if you do want to be with this person and he invited you to go visit him, I would go visit him. That's what I would do if I love the person. I think that that's another thing is, do you love this person enough that you want to be with them the rest of your life, no matter what? And again, you don't have to have all the answers right now, but that's what we're working towards getting. And no matter what doesn't include cheating and abuse and things that can happen in relationships. That's just you deciding that you want to invest all of your time and energy into this relationship. You do love this man. He's a devout Catholic. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I was in Catholicism when I was a child. And I did not understand it, to be quite honest. I just didn't understand it. It was a lot of Latin and just ritualistic stuff that I didn't really understand. But I will tell you this, with that energy being cleared, that devil energy, he's going to have a better opportunity to walk away from this situation unscathed. If that witchcraft had still been there, he probably would have still been manipulated. Because he prayed, this situation changed. And remember, what was happening was that your wish fulfillment was being held captive by this I don't want to use the word evil, but by this witch person. And I feel like without that being there, well, God can do anything. God's working on the situation, but without that energy there, I feel like things are going to move faster. But still remember about learning how to become patient. You grew up Catholic, don't mind it, just don't like the lies. Exactly. Yeah, I don't have a bad feeling towards Catholicism. I just literally didn't really understand it is all. But I gained a greater understanding about Jesus later on in life. And when I started to have my own personal experiences, then I was like, oh yeah, Jesus is awesome. But before, it was just very much like ingrained, I would say. Okay. So I hope that helped you. So I'm going to go back to, but yeah, you're good to go as far as like, if you want to go visit him, just make sure that you can get the time off work. But yeah, I feel like, in the future, you guys will be living together again. So let's get one of these cards. Trust yourself more. Know that you are in the right place at the right time. Opportunities will present themselves to you when they are meant to. All in divine timing. Get excited about the future again instead of fearing it. Yes, absolutely. You are very welcome. Okay, so I'm going to look at, go back up here. Okay, Tropical Tarot. Let me know that you're still here. Why did that relapse happen? You can't believe you ended up with a gun to your head. I hope that that is a metaphor because, again, if you're in any type of dangerous situation, you need to get help, okay? Not just from me, but from like the police. But okay, good, you're still here. Okay, so let's just look and see. Because I pulled right before I had ended that question, I had pulled 3 really good cards for you. So maybe it's not real. Okay, good. Was just drunk. Okay. Well, yeah. Also, alcohol can influence, it's a spirit, right? It's called spirits for a reason. So I would just be aware that alcohol can cause different side effects, right? It could make the pain not as bad at one point and then later on make the pain worse. So I would say that if you're drinking alcohol, to drink water also and Gatorade. Make sure your electrolyte balance is balanced. My brother takes this electrolyte thing that's like really disgusting, but he just drinks it and it takes all, it's like something you like mix with water. He takes it and then all of his electrolytes are up. But I've heard that it's disgusting. So I like Gatorade, Powerade, anything with electrolytes. I think even Smart Water, this type of water, I'm pretty sure that this has electrolytes in it. It does. It says electrolytes, vapor distilled water with electrolytes added for taste. So that's a couple things. All right, let's see. The relapse. Is this like a relapse on alcohol? Or is this like a relapse on a way of thinking? I'm not for sure why relapses happen other than going into an old pattern, right? An old cycle. It's the same thing as like, okay, it's the same thing as how the other psychic always tells me when I do the mind technique and I clear thought or belief, or I come into the awareness that a thought and belief is not serving me, right? So I get rid of it, I clear it. The other one always tells me to don't go back to the trash and dig that belief out and like open it up again and go through it. So, okay, alcohol. Okay. Well, yeah, so I'm definitely picking up that there's something in the bloodline that has to do with alcohol. Queen of Cups. Okay, this could be actually like your mother or something. I don't know if she had a very adverse reaction to it. You may want to look and see if alcoholism runs in the family, if you're having any type of relapse. But there is a program called Alcoholics Anonymous, and if you are struggling with alcohol, you can always, like, they probably have an app or something, but you can do a search and see if there's any meetings in your area by surrounding yourself with. Now, I don't agree with standing up and saying I am an alcoholic, because first of all, that you don't want to be creating that. I want you to come into the agreement that you are not any of these things that people say you are, that you think you are. You're not enslaved to a substance, right? Like, you are greater than that. So I would say that. But other than that, it's good to surround yourself with people who are like sober, or people even just going to those meetings. They can be very uplifting, very uplifting. And don't be so hard on yourself. Like, when you realize that it's a genetic pattern, that's when we want to start breaking curses. I would say, in Jesus's name, in God's name, God, we break every curse over the bloodline that has to do with addiction, alcoholism, substance abuse, and we want all of that cleansed from the bloodline. We rebuke it. We don't come into agreement. We call judgment on it. I'm getting that also God is not judging you. So if you were feeling that, you're not being judged by God. It's just your higher self is sending you signals so that you start to get into alignment with your higher self. That's what I'm getting. So you could be feeling like something's judging you and it's not. It's like literally your higher self is trying to signal you to get into alignment. And that could be when it comes to the love situation. Loving yourself first. Love, harmony, relationships, union, but also having somebody to talk to. Though, the AA meetings, I'm pretty sure that they're free. I'm pretty sure that you can go and they're free. And if you don't want to speak, you don't have to. There's also other support groups. I get that, Eight of Cups, what you're most afraid of is walking away from the relationship. That's what you're afraid of. But I get that you don't need to make your fears a reality. but also the traumas that you've gone through, I feel like have been quite great. Like the stuff you've been through has not been easy. So if you do need somebody to talk to about it, you could easily go to a meeting. And literally just know every day that you count that you're sober, see how you feel, check in with yourself throughout the day. That's what I'm getting, to check in with yourself regularly. Because I'm not getting a substance abuse problem from you. I'm getting like something that happens on a cycle. That's how I know it's generational. It's something that happens on a cycle to influence you. It has to do with the moon, possibly nighttime. Maybe stay away from situations that involve like drinking or partying or clubbing, or, avoid temptation at all costs. But know that you're stronger than this. You really are. I feel like somebody has to walk away from doing something up under the moon to you. And also, the chain of toxicity through the bloodline, I would just be saying, in Jesus' name, I break all chains. 7 of Pentacles, because it's going to turn things around. When you don't have, like, this is how I've explained to clients over the years. When you don't have that extra influence, aka like a generational curse or pattern, you can look at it either as a curse or a pattern, because it's both, right? But when you don't have that extra energy there, like driving and fueling and drawing in experiences, then it makes it so that the tables can turn in your favor, so that a whole turnaround can happen. Long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence. So you may be somebody that you could go to like 1 or 2 meetings and not need more, or you may be somebody that actually becomes a part of that community. Either way, I feel like staying away from temptful situations where you would be tempted to do that. I don't think that drinking is bad if you just do it every once in a while. Like I personally don't believe that it's the devil or anything like that. But I do feel like it is a spirit. There's a spirit in everything, not just alcohol. There's a spirit in tea, a deva energy. There's a spirit in water. There's a spirit in everything. Just like Pocahontas said, like every single thing has a name, a spirit, a consciousness, right? And she knew that. And I love that she put that in the song that she sang. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what else comes through. Yeah, diligent, sustainable results and investment. So what you're investing in. Okay, I'm also getting Taurus energy with work. DEATH. So somebody was trying to literally use the moon to DEATH your love life. Wow. And now they have to walk away from doing this because you're stronger than that. You feeling weak could be a side effect of whatever the spell work was. But this stuff was never going to affect you the way that this person wanted it to. I'm serious. They're an idiot. It's not that they're not good at the spell work. They are good at the spell work, but you have something that is protecting you. I'm literally serious about that from this situation. 6. And also this energy that this person sent towards you, this bullshit witchcraft, I'm just going to call it what it is, BS witchcraft, that this person sent to you, the beings that were sent to you do not have like the okay from where they come from to do what this person's asking them to do. So this transition, fleeing, running away energy, somebody wanted you to have to just like move on, and it's not happening. It's actually a turnaround in your relationship for the better. This is what I'm seeing. It's going to be, and I hope that the person that you're with decides not to go back to the ex or talk to them again. Without the witchcraft there, I think it'll be easier for her to say no, but she's got to make a choice. Because she does have this aspect of her that is very sweet and loving, and this is the part of you that you love about her. Whatever this ex did to her, did something to her, like with witchcraft. And I hate to say that that's possible, but it is. Six of Pentacles. I feel like the Six of Pentacles talks about giving, receiving, sharing wealth, being generous, and being charitable. And you are all of those things. I feel like it's going to be easier for you to make decisions in the future. And strength, because you're getting stronger. Well, what doesn't kill you literally makes you stronger. This other person is now being dragged to spiritual court. They're about to go to spiritual hell in a second. I'm serious. This person's going to wish that they never did any of this witchcraft. Dang, because judgment was called on your love life situation because of this person that was doing things that were not in alignment. Let's just say that. Okay, so yeah, obviously getting stronger, but you're healing as well. And I'm so glad that this stuff did not hit you. This is why I say people that do witchcraft that don't know what they're doing, like it may work on 29 people, but that 30th person, and this is just me making up a statistic because I don't know the real statistics. I don't know if anybody does. But let's say they do it to 29 people, then the 30th person, it all comes crashing down. It's because that 30th person was somebody not like the other people, and they had some type of protection. And think of it that way, is when you've got some type of protection, then when somebody tries to attack you, they get smacked out by that protection. And that's not your fault, but this is what this person is experiencing. 3, and you have a whole community. This could be representing your team at work, the 3 of Pentacles. You've got at least 3 people in your team that you can trust, okay? Even though they look at you as like a supervisor, boss person, you can still trust them. So yeah, I feel like the people at your work need to take the business seriously, and they need to treat it like they would treat it if it was their own business. You've got a good employee when they treat the business like if it was their own, right? And not to say in a way of trying to own it, but respecting it, respecting the policies, treating it as if it was their business, right? And so making that distinction with your employees is a very important thing. I feel like for the highest and best good of the company, that's how they should be programmed. And if they don't feel that way, you can state that to them. If they don't feel that way, then they can take their cup of half-ass love, and they can go somewhere else with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can always hire new people. And I think they need to be reminded of that and take the job seriously and start treating it as if it was theirs. But people, they look at, when they get a job, they look at it as how they can utilize and use the employer or some shit like that. A lot of people are like that. But I'm getting that you have 3 that are not like that, that will be more on board with treating and respecting the company and respecting your authority in it. Your authority in the company is not going anywhere. So they've got to either get in alignment with that or get out. Like there's only 2 ways to look at that. 5 of Pentacles. But these people, they can't just stop working, because then they're going to be in the 5 of Pentacles homeless without anything. You know what I'm saying? So we shouldn't have to buy people's loyalty. And that's why when you choose, oh my gosh, getting the truth of God using the joy versus anger technique when you choose, and the compatibility technique. When we had the store and we had to get somebody to work for the store, it was very difficult. We went through quite a few people. Okay. And so until we got somebody, and literally, yeah, we would ask compatibility, and we would get compatibility, and we would do most of it off of compatibility, but it was still difficult to employ people to do the stores. Like, I'm serious. It was still difficult. So, you know, maybe doing okay, so with the company, when you've got a team of people, maybe planning like a resort trip or something like that for the people so that you guys can grow closer together and the team can grow closer together. Once you've got what, because you just let somebody go. Once you hire the person for that job, maybe offering something like that, or a retreat, something that you can go for the day, something like that. I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs, not to go into football, but the Kansas City Chiefs, they have all of the players on the team go to this camp, or it's like a camp, something like a camp, football thing. And they all bond, right? They all bond together. They become close and it makes them better players. Seven of Wands. See, I feel like by you doing that, you put up protection and defense with your employees. Because most people, if their experience with having an employer is like, oh, my employer wants to use me, so I want to use them. It doesn't have to be that way. It could be, oh, I want the best for them because they provide for me. And these people are, at least 3 of these people are worth keeping, right, on the team. Once you figure out who the other people are going to be, use your discernment. Be asking is to like, God, Spirit, show me. I would get the truth of God and use the techniques from that, but be asking for confirmation when you get the right person, okay? Because there may be many people that come forward that want a piece of this pie, a piece of this Ace of Pentacles, new opportunities. There may be many people that come forward, but you want the right person who their needs, this is what you want. You want their needs to be, this is probably like the longest reading I've ever done. You want their needs to literally be fulfilled by you and your needs to be fulfilled by them. That's what you want in any type of working relationship. Abundance, manifestation, opportunity. And yes, you firing that person, you had to do that. You literally had to do that to protect your company. You can't have people under the influence at the job. No, like, I don't care what job it is. That alcohol and other hard substances are an influence, and it causes people to make mistakes. And so, yeah, I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from when you had to let this person go. So if they're thinking, oh, you're so mean, they were just drunk, then they need to get their shit together, the rest of the employees, because what are you talking about? You can't, like, go drink after work. Don't do it before, and don't do it during the job. Because if you're liable for the people that are working, what if they got drunk, the person got drunk and fell and hit their head? Then they would try to sue you. So this is why you have to protect your business, right? And don't feel bad about that. If they want to give you a guilt trip, tell them to grow a pair, mature, and move on from that. Knight of Swords. You may have somebody that comes in that actually motivates the team, lifts them up. I think that would be a good thing. Seeing where the hole was, because you want like completeness in your team. You see the gifts that each person has. What in the hell am I hearing? What is that? You see the gifts that each person has. Maybe it was something outside. Anyways. Yeah. And then you look for the 8 of Swords. These people can't afford to make any more mistakes. They can't. I feel like you're going to be okay, though. Remember what I said about adopting positive habits. Could be yoga, could be changing your diet, looking up what are teas that can help you with pain relief, what are herbs, what are the foods, what are the supplements. And then with your relationship, not holding that record of past wrongs when you move forward, and putting that trust out there. And then with this new person that you hire, looking into your team and seeing where there is imbalance and then creating a balance, right? Finding wait, even if you have to wait a couple weeks or even a month to hire the right person, it's better to hire the right person than to hire somebody and train them and all of that, and for them to end up not being the right person and they're causing problems, right? And then, you just have to remind your team that you're the boss, point blank, period. And if they stay up all night partying, that's on them. If, just, it's part of the rules that you can't drink at work. I mean, but all of these things are things that you're going to work through easily. That these are not life-stopping things. Even your chronic condition, you're going to live a long, healthy life. So I still go to the doctor, though. Ask your doctor specifically, what are some things that you can do for pain relief? And if you decide to go to the pain clinic, do some research there. I mean, talk to your doctor about it. Ask your doctor if that's the right plan for you. If there's a better way, then he or she, they, them, whoever the doctor is, they may have more than just one answer for you. So, I would be more in the mindset of not thinking that everything is going to be a permanent disaster, and be looking towards truth, trust, and faith, and asking your doctor, and then making actual real life changes to your diet. And remember, AA, if you are struggling with alcohol, AA is free. It's free. You can go there. I'm pretty sure they provide coffee and maybe donuts sometimes, but like, you can go there and sit and talk with other people. And sometimes just listening to, and you don't even have to say anything. You can just show up and sit down, and you really don't. I mean, I think they do an introduction, but you don't have to give testimony if you don't want to. So there are resources out there. And remember, I break every chain. I break every chain of addiction, of imbalance, of unhealth, of illness. I break every chain of that in the name of Jesus. And I call upon my spiritual team to help me cleanse and purify my body in the best way possible, so that I can live a long, healthy, happy life. Incorporating prayer will also help. So just in that last reading, the one before this, that person had prayed and boom, their life changed and it's getting better. So prayer does help. So, all right, you guys. But yeah, also talking with a therapist may help. Ask your doctor, what are all the things that you can do? And then if you do decide to go to the pain clinic, research everything. I'm going to read those little brochures, and the next time I talk to you, I will know what some of those treatments are, so you can Google them. But yeah, I think asking your doctor what the best thing to do, and then doing search on what you can eat in your diet and stuff like that to reduce pain, that's where we can start making real changes. All right, you guys, thank you for making it to the ending of this reading. So just give me 1 second. I've got to go do something really quick. I will be right back, and then I'm going to talk about the 2 books that are tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. Okay, I'm back. All right, you guys. Thank you for making it to the ending of this reading. Sorry it got so long, but I am so happy that I was able to answer those questions for you guys. So I'm going to talk about the 2 books that are tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. If you guys could like this video, if you could subscribe, tap the notification bell, all of that really helps. Okay, so the first book we're going to talk about is The Truth of God. Now, The Truth of God has been helping me for over 10 years. So I'm just going to open it randomly and we're going to see what chapter we're in. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit from it, and then I'm going to tell you about the techniques from this book that have changed my life. This book is called The Truth of God by Michael STEADMAN, and it is tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. So this chapter is called What Are We Choosing? And the chapters, this is the easiest book to read, you guys. It is like a very fast, very easy read. The font is very big, and it's just so easy to understand. It explains everything in such a simple way that anybody could read it and understand it. Okay, so I'm going to read from What Are We Choosing? Yeah. We created a free will universe, so choice is always coming into play each moment. Does that thought feel good or not feel good? What are we placing our attention on? Where is our focus? Would we go into an ice cream shop with dozens of flavors and be upset by focusing on the flavors we did not like? Or would we be excited about all of the choices that we did like? Knowing that whatever choice we made would bring us a joyous result. Example, Carol understood who her true self was. She had learned how to ask questions inwardly and receive answers using the intuitive methods from chapter 4. She didn't understand why negative instances were still arising in her daily life until she realized that she got up in the morning and she was focusing more on aching muscles, which vitamins she needed, why her car didn't have enough pickup. She didn't make enough money doing her job and cutting herself with a knife while fixing dinner. So again, think about it that way. If that's what you're focusing on, that's what you're going to draw into your life. So she was taking assessment of the life that she was creating. She now saw that she had been doing that every day. She had been getting caught up in the storyline, telling a negative story to other people and herself. Even after Carol had learned that lesson, she still caught herself reassessing the day's negative events, focusing on the negative so that she could detach from them. There is a difference in having negative occurrences show up in our lives, acknowledging and detaching, and looking for ones to detach, focusing on the negative. What have we been focusing on? Most people find themselves falling into some of these categories. Number 1, mortgage/bills. Most people will get a negative feeling watching their checkbook balance shrink by paying their bills, but that could change if they had gratitude for the service that they received: heat, water, roof overhead, food, clothes, etc. Health. Just a simple "how are you" to someone can open them up to tell you everything that is going wrong in their life. If that is happening to you, it is because you are feeling the need to tell someone negative things that are happening in your life. Even if negative occurrences or people may be around you, it is never a good practice to focus on them, but to change the subject of your thoughts to things of a positive nature. Stopping ourselves from telling our friends our problems is one thing. Catching those negative inner thoughts we are thinking to ourselves is a different story. Most of the time, it is much easier to catch other people going to negative stories than it is to catch ourselves. Because it's so, like, it becomes like a habit or just like a response, you know? And so when you can like catch it and be like, no, I'm not going to keep telling that old story about myself. I'm somebody new, you know, that's a very powerful thing. It's a very positive, powerful moment, okay, of creation. So people think that they must face reality, even if it's negative. But I say, if your reality doesn't look the way you want it to, focus on one that does look like you would have it, thereby creating a positive flow to take place of the negative one that you have created with beliefs that pulled those types of experiences in without knowing. Number 3 is politics. I stay out of politics because I don't have the attention span or time or interest in it in any form or fashion. Okay. So you guys will have to forgive me about that. But yeah, it says, I know some people who feel it is their duty to be focusing on the negative things that will be brought up by one party or the other. They might even find joy in it, but I guarantee there is no love or peace. Number 4 is family drama. Focusing on the dynamics that are happening in a family or with friends can lead to negative feelings personally or vicariously through others' problems. The crime that's happening / news. Feeling the need to keep up with what is happening locally or around the world through newspapers, magazines, and TV can have a person focusing on the worst that's happening in their creation. Not liking your job while at work, or at home, focusing on those events or people that didn't make you feel good only brings more of the same into your workplace and home. Traffic, you will see or hear of people that are screaming at other drivers for one reason or another. I used to be that person, by the way. Each occurrence that is being drawn into that person's experience is caused by some belief they're holding in their being, consciously or unconsciously. And then judging ourselves and others. This seems to be one of the easiest categories to fall into. People will state that they don't judge others, but they still hear others judge someone else. If you are hearing it around you, it's because you're judging yourself or others without even knowing it. So these are some of the storylines that we can find ourselves focusing on when we start our mornings with feeling unconditional love for all, gratitude, and trying to see the beauty in it and around us. If we are looking for it, we will create a reality that will match those feelings. So check this book out, you guys. I use the techniques from this book every day. The God technique is extremely powerful. It connects me. It's like going within and using, you see me use it during the reading when I clear all the witchcraft and stuff. I would not be able to do that without the techniques from this book. And when I cross spirits over and all of that. So when I'm going in, I'm connecting with God, okay? And then I'm making that connection and I rise above whatever's going on. So the God technique is extremely important. The second technique from this book that I'm going to talk about, yes, he is very smart. He is very smart. I mean, that's what I believe. But the second technique is a joy versus anger technique. The joy versus anger technique is so useful. You see me use it all the time in the readings. And it's where you basically ask yes and no questions, but it's developed on clairsentience, which is a gut feeling. So you will never get an incorrect response. And your higher self knows what's in alignment with you and what's not. Okay. Like your higher self, God knows everything. So when you ask, should I go here? Should I go here? Because you know what you would enjoy and what you wouldn't enjoy. Even if your brain doesn't know, your higher self does. So by you using the joy versus anger technique, you start to be divinely led. I would be asking questions, should I buy this? Should I not buy this? There's so many things. There's so many examples. I could go on and on for days of times when I've asked and been really glad that I asked and didn't just go ahead and do whatever it was, right? There's like so many times. The next technique I'm going to talk about, sometimes if you get the answer no for something and then you want to know why, you do the 1 to 10 technique. This book will teach you how to get compatibility on any subject, 1 being the lowest compatible, 10 being the highest compatible. Then you can ask more questions about compatibility. And then the mind technique gives you the ability to clear the thoughts and beliefs that you have stored up within you that are creating and influencing the reality that you're experiencing. When you do that, you're basically shifting your reality because those beliefs were the thing that was pulling that experience in. So when you get rid of that extra energy, the reality can shift and change. Same thing as like if you get rid of a curse or whatever generational pattern, same thing, the future will change. So, that's how we can be creators, is by doing that. And then there's, for some of you that struggle with troublesome thoughts, I have thoughts that I don't like sometimes. So I will use the preemptive strike, or I'll write down a thought or a storyline about myself, and then I use the mind technique to clear it. And then I use positive affirmations to affirm the opposite, basically, the thing that I actually do want. So This is the truth of God. There's a lot more techniques. This book will teach you how to meditate. It'll expand your consciousness. It's literally life-changing. Okay, that's life-changing. So it's tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. The second book I'm going to talk about is the book that I've written, and it is called Vassago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells, written by me, Astraea Love. And this book will teach you how to read cards for yourself and for other people. I have also tagged in the products and linked in the description box below the original Rider-Waite Tarot. Oh, thank you for the flower. And so yeah, this deck has the description on the card, so you don't have to go to like a separate book. So I wrote this book off of the original. This is the original. So you want to learn the original, because if you go to any specialty deck like the Thoth deck, when they give you an abstract picture that has nothing to do with what the card means, you'll know what the actual card means. So when I use other decks, I always keep this deck out, so that when I go to another deck, if I get a card that I'm like, what? This like has nothing to do with what the card means, I'll go to the original source. Okay, so to talk about Vassago, we have to explain King Solomon. So Vassago is a spirit guide to me. He has helped me learn how to read tarot, and he's helped me see what's actually there, especially when I'm trying to pull cards for myself. So he's been a very benevolent, loving, kind, generous, and patient guide, okay? And so when I would get readings from other people, he would peek his head in and be like, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. And then when I started doing readings for other people and myself, he would be like, hey, you're missing this. And he just has helped me learn throughout my tarot journey, is what I should say. So King Solomon was gifted a ring by Archangel Michael that had a magical seal on it. Now, this magical seal could command spirits of all types. So King Solomon wrote 3 books that are in the Bible. Then he wrote a bunch of other books that have to do with his testament, his magical books, and all this other stuff. So some of those books are called the Ars Notoria, which maps a group of angels that half of them could be put in the Ars Goetia. The Ars Goetia is supposed to map like dark archangels or fallen angels. However, some of the ones in the Ars Goetia should be in the Ars Notoria. The angels and demons are 2 sides of the same coin. So I don't think that Vassago should be in the Ars Goetia, but again, I didn't write it, so I'm just gonna go with what King Solomon said. So anyways, so Vassago told King Solomon that he was not the king of the Jews, that the real king of the Jews, the king of all kings, the savior, Messiah, is Jesus. And King Solomon goes, well, who is Jesus? And Vassago goes, well, Jesus has not come yet. So King Solomon classified Vassago as a spirit of divination, but like I was just saying, he's so much more than that. He sees from a very wise perspective things, and he doesn't have a problem showing you the truth, right? Or telling you the truth. However, he just kind of peeks his head in, and he's a guide. He's like literally a guide. Okay, so this book has, well, in the tarot deck, there's 78 cards total. This is how Vassago explained tarot works to me. While you're a human living a human life, you will experience every card in the deck. That is how it maps human consciousness. So 22 of these cards are the major arcana cards. We're going to read from the Hangman today, or we're going to actually go to the Hangman today. So in this book, there is a disclaimer. If you're going to read for other people, use a disclaimer, because you need to let people know that when it comes to tarot, the message, the truth may come up abruptly. It may come up in a way that's hurtful or offensive. Okay. And then also something else could come through other than what the person is asking for. So they just need to know to be in a good space when they're gonna like get a tarot reading from you. Okay, that's what they need to know, because tarot can be very humbling. Let's just say that. Then I have a prayer in this book that I would suggest you use it before you do any reading at all. When you involve God, everything seems to work out. And then there is and initiation, I put in here with Vassago, if you want to work with him. You do not have to. You can use this book and not work with Vassago, and it's still going to work for you. In fact, people have been telling me that they've been using oracle cards and all different decks with this book, and that it does work. So I'm loving that feedback from you guys. So there's 22 of the major arcana cards in the tarot deck. Those are your guys' favorite cards, right? Those are like the Hangman, the Lovers, the Justice, the Hierophant, the High Priestess, the Sun, the Moon, the World, the Star. Those are like the main, they're the major transitions. The Hangman. So I have a tarot card spread for each of those 22 cards. So you can either use this book by going from the beginning to the end, or you can use it by subject. Today we're going to do the Hangman. So we're just going to go right there. Find out what page it's on. 187. Also, each of the cards in the deck has 3 different ways that you can read it. Actually, it's got more than that, but it's got each of the card in the deck is going to have a number association, a yes, no, maybe answer, and then it's going to have also a 1 or more zodiac signs associated. So I'm going to read from the Hangman. The Hangman is the number 12. The answer is maybe, and the zodiac is Pisces. This is the card of doubt and contradictions. The Hangman is the card of the martyr. It speaks of a confusing time ahead. The Hangman says instead of trying to control situations and people, leave them alone instead. It also says that a sacrifice may be necessary to move forward. The Hangman suggests that you should put aside any self-interest. Peace of mind comes from making the correct decisions. So I'm going to shuffle the deck, and I'm going to pull 1 card for position 1. Let's see. There we go. You just shuffle the deck until you feel like you're ready. Like you'll get a feeling like, okay, now 6 of Pentacles for the Gallows. Interesting. The 6 of Pentacles. Okay. So the Gallows, the card for this position represents the unclean energies that are bringing about strife and adversities in one's life. This card can show you the main issue that is bringing about negative actions against your life. So there's a concern over self-worth here is what I'm seeing, because I'm going to read the card to you after I read this part. If you have been under the evil eye curse, so somebody is definitely doing that to your money and your ability to provide for yourself. Okay, so that's what we need to know. We cancel and rebuke that in Jesus' name. Yeah, if you've been under the evil eye curse, you'll pull the death card for this position. Well, we didn't pull the death, but we did pull the 6 of Pentacles, which is about finances. If someone is trying to sacrifice you or someone that you know, you'll pull the Hangman card for this position. So good, we didn't pull that one. But the 6 of Pentacles talks about you gaining control over your financial life. It becomes easier for you to make payments, right? Concerns over your self-worth. Maybe somebody else is concerned over your self-worth. Ugh. Increase personal power at work. Somebody is pissed off that you are becoming more powerful at your job. Pathetic. I'm sorry, but people need to just grow up. You develop an understanding of financial success and how to manage it. You must give to others in order to keep money flowing through your life. Obviously, we know that. Okay, so that was just 1 card position. Now that we know that, we cancel and it leads you to the Hangman spell, which when you do the spell, you get rid of everything that's causing suffering and all of the stuff we were just talking about with the 6 of Pentacles. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go to the back of the book to the Hangman. If you were to be doing any of these readings and pull more than one of the major arcana cards out together, I would pause the reading, go to the back of the book, look the first major arcana card up, see if it's the combinations in there. If it's not, then I would go to the second one, But yeah. Let me see here. There it is. Okay, so anytime that you see the Hangman card, you will know that you're dealing with a sacrifice or a martyr. If the Hangman comes out before the major arcana cards, it means that something was sacrificed to obtain whatever the subject of the major arcana is. If the Hangman card comes out after the major arcana card, it could indicate that a sacrifice needs to be made for things to shift. And we're not talking about physical sacrifice with KNIVESs or anything like that, okay? This is like getting rid of thoughts and beliefs. All right. I just wanted to state that. If you pull the Hangman card in the reverse, it could indicate that someone lacks insight into the true issue. They cannot see the bigger picture because they lack important information. It can also mean that you're overwhelmed by the pressure that exists in society. When you pull the Hangman card in the reverse, it could indicate that a sacrifice or offering that was made to the spiritual realm is rejected and has been rebuked. If you pull the Hangman in the reverse, it indicates that all effort and time and energy was wasted on a project. So if you're interested in learning to read cards for yourself and other people, Vassago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells is here for you. It is tagged in the products and linked in the description box below, and also the Truth of God Tarot, or the Truth of God Tarot, I'm so sorry. The Truth of God Advanced Intuitive Living, written by Michael STEADMAN, is also tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. And I have the Quick and Easy Original Rider-Waite Tarot tagged in the products and linked in the description box below. That's my way of assisting you guys. I love you so much. Thank you, everybody. This is the longest reading I've ever done, like ever. So thank you guys for spending your time with me. I love you so much. God bless you and peace be with you. Please like this video, tap the notification bell, and make sure that you guys are subscribed, okay? All right, you guys. And then if you're interested in learning to read cards for yourself and others, Vassago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells is available for you. That is a resource. So is the Truth of God if you want to gain control of your mind. And like I said, the techniques I talked about in the Truth of God were only a few out of many. So remember the stuff that we were talking about, okay? All right, you guys. God bless you and peace be with you. I'll see you in the next reading, okay? Bye.